What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It's Jobbers and Goons. I'm currently in my server, posted up with a event going where anyone that disagrees with any of my takes can join, and we can talk about it. Yeah, I have Ben Grimm getting easy dubs over Ben 10, dog. Like, what's up? What's up, Ben 10 fans? Come outside. Hope everyone is doing well, by the way. Go ahead and post this in my server. It's got top chat. Let me turn on live chat. What up, everyone? What up? What up? Yeah, I got Spider-Man over Invincible. Run down on me. So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna post the Discord link. Hold up. Let's see. Actually, hold on. There should be in the video, in the live stream description. I'm gonna double check it. Give me a sec. Let me double check this. Just so I'm not wrong for you guys. Give me a sec. So, let's see. Okay, so it's not in... Okay, so what I'm gonna do... I'm gonna post the Discord link and pin it. I'm gonna pin the Discord link and my Cash App. If y'all wanna donate while we're hanging out, arguing with people. Which Invincible like Spider-Man? Which Invincible and Spider-Man? Both can be peak. Peak canon. Peak canon, so for Marvel that's 616 Peter. Deku would get fucking stomped out by Miles Morales. That's a crazy percent. I've never heard anyone say Deku beats Miles Morales, but that's a wild, wild statement. Alright, now I'm just getting the Cash App link and I'm posting both and pinning them. Hit the Cash App if you want to donate direct, or if it's easier for you to donate through YouTube, you can do that. It's up to y'all, man. Appreciate all the support. And of course, hit the like button. Alright, hold on. Discord. Cash App links. Okay. Commenting it now. Let's see. I'm about to get y'all this link so you can join up. Hold on. Alright, so it's been pinned. That has the Cash App and the Discord. If you disagree with the takes, any on screen or any you've heard from me, come join the Discord and hop in the call. Regular Peter Parker from 616 beats up Invincible. That's it. That's my stance. I don't need like Cosmic Spider-Man or any weird shit. Captain America dog's Invincible too. Uh-oh. Tyler Rake from Extraction. The highest I've gotten Alien X is like 2070. That shit ain't scary, pimp. Extraction's a great movie series. What's up, Lumos? Oh shit, Lumos is in the audience. Let me invite him up.
Hey, what's up, boys? How's it going?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. About to make a big move happen, but I'm happy to be chilling with you. And unlike last time, I actually got some time to chill and hang out this time.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to get the damn Ben 10 fans in here. I'm trying to get the Invincible wankers in here.
Dude, the Ben 10
John
fan
Wick
base
wankers.
is so scared, okay? They do not come out to play at all. Like, they just kind of stick to their own corner. I think, like, Ink Tank being the only one of them, I think, who actually reached out to their collaborators and, like, wanted to do something viable.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, I told them, like, you can pull up. It's up to them to pull up. But yeah, if anyone disagrees with my takes on here, I'm encouraging them to come on and discuss it.
I'm not gonna lie, I saw your stream title yesterday, and I like took a look at this bad boy, and I'll admit I can't speak to Tyler Rake and John Wick, but like everything else on here is like really standard stuff.
No, actually, a lot of people disagree with Spider-Man beating Invincible.
Like, yo, that is insane, man.
A lot of people have Invincible. I would say it's like a 70-30 split with them saying Invincible wins.
I'll admit that, like, I'm not as well read on Marvel whenever it comes to like exclusive scaling stuff. I read a ton of Marvel, but like anybody who sat down and read just a few like mainline like Spider-Man runs, like, bro, how are you not coming? I guess maybe that's it. Maybe they haven't even read the fucking Spider-Man runs.
And they just think he's not like planet level or can't deal out damage of that degree, stuff like that.
It's like, come on now. Spidey's out here keeping up with Galactus's heralds, like in speed. Like, come on now.
Yeah. He's yeah, I was surprised A lot of people think Invincible slaps, but
Yeah, Invincible's a really cool verse for sure, but
current Superboy Prime definitely slaps Franklin Richards.
yeah, his fight with TDK was pretty dumb. The fact that he even stood a chance makes, I would argue, almost zero chance, but the man did it. It is what it is, boys. Prime right now is just on some shit.
Jujutsu Kaisen's about to get the Fortnite amp? Real.
Oh no. Oh no. Maybe they'll find a way to make their main characters interesting. With Fortnite scaling.
Yeah, did you see Raven vs. Phoenix?
I haven't yet. I'm supposed to record a live stream of that today. I have heard some fucking atrocious things about the Phoenix, okay? And I'm a huge X-Men guy, all right? And I hate Trigon. So if there's any point in time I can take a dump on Raven, I am 10 out of 10 down. I have a massive series of Trigon videos building in the works to undo the Trigon genjutsu that's on everyone. But
strong genjutsu. It's a very strong one.
It's a strong one. I have one video out about a bunch of comments about like why does DC hate Trigon, and I was actually trying to rep Trigon, and I realized like, yo, that was the worst decision of my life because these people are insane.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a detailed, in-depth video on Phoenix soon.
I look forward to that. Phoenix goes hard. Even in the new lore and shit, it's still considered like one of the strongest big boys in verse. Like,
hey, that's big pimp shit, Corey. Shout out to Corey for the Cash App, man.
Hey.
Oh, he disrespected Proper 12.
Oh no.
Is the Daredevil Nightwing Rogue swap in play? Yes, it is.
That'd be pretty cool, I think.
Trigon vs. Dormammu. Oh my god, the battle of characters no one checks on. Yo, Jobbers, what do you feel about JJK having more fanfare in Fortnite than Elder Scrolls? That's toxic. Elder Scrolls deserves better. Who do you think would be a good matchup for Legends Luke Skywalker? I'm actually doing a video today on Darth Bane on my second channel. It's a wild video. So definitely pay attention to Darth Goons today for that video. That video's gonna go hard in the paint. What's your upcoming videos looking like, Lumos?
So I already told you guys about the new Trigon stuff. I've been researching. I covered every single release of Trigon ever. So I've got that in the works. The next video I'm literally editing now. I've got the entire history of every important event that ever occurred in DC. If I play my cards right, that'll be out in the next few days. I am also tackling the both Cass and Mandrak in future as well. So I've got a lot of big boy weird shit on my plate for the most part. But it's really just been really fun. I've been cranking out a lot of really interesting DC stuff and advancing my knowledge tenfold, I feel like, recently. So it's been kind of empty around what I've been doing on the channel, but I promise the research has been going crazy.
Yeah, you should do Green Lantern versus Nova.
I actually have had a few requests for Green Lantern versus Nova. Yeah, that'd be a pretty dang collab. You and me can do that, right? Because you've got a lot of Nova content out there, right?
Yeah, I've always been a pretty big Nova fan, so I'd 100% be down to collab on that if you wanted to. We could like do a in-depth battle. I think that'd be fun for people because like it's a popular battle within the comic book nerd community, but it's one of those things where typically both sides aren't educated on both.
Yeah, so, like, they're both really niche. Yeah.
Like, yeah, you either know Lantern shit or you, like, know Nova shit. There's usually not both. I know a lot of Lanterns. I know Lantern shit, to be honest, because I'm a fucking super fan of Larfleeze and Sinestro. And if you're a Sinestro
Nice.
fan, you are naturally acclimated to hating on everything Green fucking Lantern. So you got to read that shit to hate on it. And so, plus, he was the greatest Green Lantern. So, it is what it is. And so I do have the Green Lantern knowledge. Obviously, you know way more than me, but it would be a really fun battle for us to do.
Oh, for sure, dude. That would be super banger. Oh, Griffo coming in with the big boy dono. Let's go.
And actually, I'm gonna send you whatever we get through Cash App. I'm gonna send you a part of it. By the way, Lumos, you still got Cash App?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, facts. I'll share some of the loot with you.
Yeah, it's the same one too. Appreciate that. Anything to help the cause, man.
Yeah, I like to split the Cash Apps. You already know the YouTube comment shit takes like a month
Yeah,
plus
it's
to double
cancer
that.
whenever they do it, but it's
Yeah, it's like one of those
yeah,
things though. If you catch a rhythm, like you'll see it eventually, like on the back end, and then it piles up. But
yeah.
anyways, if you two, shout out to Griff over the donation. If you two would choose a team across all of fiction to go up against True Form Pennywise, True Form Darkseid, Lucifer, Yuha, and current Thanos, who would they be? Okay, so that's a bit of a weird one because like current Thanos, I don't think is really up to anything unless you're talking
Yeah.
about Roko's Basilisk or
Really, it's just Pennywise and Lucifer there.
yeah, Pennywise, all form Darkseid, and Lucifer are scary. I don't know why Yuha was invited to the cookout, but he can get some like beans and a hot dog, I guess, and just wait to see what the others do.
He's there to enjoy the show.
Yeah, like he won't even be able to comprehend the battle. Actually, I don't even know if he'll enjoy the show. But if it's like Roko's Basilisk Thanos or the suspected end of everything Thanos crown, that Thanos is a factor. If I was to pick a team, I would probably pick the Bassano. The Bassano have actually beat Lucifer before. So they have the Bassano, for those that don't know, essentially stole the powers. They didn't like actually take it from them, but they copied them of the dreaming. And so like they have all that shit, plus like high degree narrative, fate manipulation, high degree awareness, really hard to fucking kill. So like they caught Lucifer slipping and he wasn't able to like see through their shit. So probably the Bassano. Um, I would then have uh, probably Gone from or Crimson King, maybe Crimson King,
From the
and
old tower.
yeah, and then probably God of Stories Loki, Cosmic Ghost Rider, and Gunslinger.
Yo, he's packing on this team. Let's go.
All right, what's your team? What's your team? Who are you picking? I'm gonna go get my phone charger
Yo,
while you pick your team.
I'm gonna bring in the big boys from DC, okay, to help throw up against Lucifer. All right, so I'm gonna be packing the Great Darkness and the Presence to this battle to this bad boy here. I think Gon is also a good pickup from his team. Let's see, and then who should be my final? Oh man, who should be my final member? Because I want to keep it even. Oh man, that's a tough one, dude. Who'd be my last member? Who's a big boy? Yo, I'll take Feathering up in this bad boy just because I know they're cracked. Oh wait, no, I take it back. I'll take Oversoul Spectre, Hal Jordan. He was on some shit. Yo, how's chat flowing over here though? Yo, how's it going, boys? Yo, sub to the channel if you haven't. Feel free to sub to mine too if you get the chance, man. Lumos Terramax on YouTube. I've worked with the good old Jobbers and Goons for a minute. Guy always has really good content to put out. Yo, let's see what we got repping in chat. What about Talos from Elder Scrolls? I think he kind of gets like destroyed by the characters present, unfortunate. Ooh, Fussy Toy says The Witness. That's actually a really good one if you're referencing good old Destiny. Yo, Destiny scaling goes real hard. The Witness or like the actual not the ghost, the actual main character, the Avatar. I remember his name. Yeah, that's killing me. Oh, Gunslinger is also from the Dark Tower franchise. He's really messed up. He rolls through the Dark Tower. And if you know anything about the Dark Tower, it is crazy stuff. Yo, the Guardian, thank you. I was brain farting on the name of half the characters in the damn verse earlier. Celestial sapients live above time and space. It'd be crazy to say the concept of space and time since they... yeah, literally. But like... the whole 27D thing, if you take that those statements as not like as like a 27th spatial dimension that stacks on the others, it is what it is. I can see the highball interpretation for it if you do want to take that for sure. I wouldn't die on the hill, but unless it was like something a little bit more like expanded out on. That's the thing that frustrates me about Ben 10 stuff is I've got a guy who focuses on it real hard, and I feel like every time somebody finds something really solid with it, I like look into it and it's like a possibility. Like maybe.
It's facts.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate big if true. Like, I don't know.
Alien X just doesn't fucking scare me, dude. Like, oh, dude,
Yeah.
you remade a universe? Oh no. I've never seen that before. What are we gonna do? Like, oh shit. Like, Ben 10 fans will pull out, and I'm only talking about the toxic ones, which unfortunately is primarily what we deal with as YouTubers.
The loudest ones on YouTube, yeah.
Yeah. They'll be like, yo, why the fuck you're hating? He can reality warp. I'm like, dude, everyone can fucking reality warp in comics. Like, no one's scared of that shit.
Yeah.
Like, they come through thinking they have the flyest abilities. And it's like, bro, we've dealt with that 40 times. It's fine.
We've dealt with that 30 years. Like 50 years even. Like, bro, come on. Like, just because this is the first time you're exposed to something, it looks really impressive.
Someone said Ben 10's multiverse operates off string theory. That's fine. That puts it at like 10, 11. So.
Yeah, like even with the highball stuff, like, okay.
I deadass don't think Alien X survives a punch from Ben Grimm.
Yo, hot take. Alien X would walk out of a world in DC and die in the bleed. He would literally just die to the energies of the bleed. Like, he wouldn't be able to take it there.
You know what's super fucked up about that is Midnighters survived in the bleed.
Facts. That's all. Yeah, everybody has it. Yo, I think I asked this question last time. Yo, who do you think would be the best battle for Midnighter? Like, if you were like to give him a fight where it was like close, like where he could barely win if possible. Like, who do you think would be that for Midnighter? Who do you think could give him that kind of run for his money? Alien X is a mud crab victim.
Hey, no, Mudcrab beat the fuck out of him.
Mudcrab would annihilate them.
Probably someone like really high tier Star Wars character, like a Darth Bane.
Because I feel like they'd have to be really technical whenever they're fighting. They'd have to be incredibly skilled. Star Wars makes sense for that. I could buy that.
Darth Bane, yeah, can potentially do that. Shang-Chi, current Iron Fist. Or like Iron Fist of the Seven Heavens. Oh no, Fat Cobra.
Oh, Fat Cobra? Okay.
I don't know if we walk away from Fat Cobra.
Really? Okay, Fat Cobra's packing some heat.
Yeah, bro. Fucked up merge sentry, fought the entire final layer of hell that like could contain Sun Wukong. Pulled up on Sun Wukong and like took no damage from him. Uh, KO'd Fing Fang Foom. Fucked up Iron Fist. Fucked up Deadpool. Deadpool couldn't do anything. He has like abilities to stop healing factors entirely and shit like that.
Oh my god, yo, these Ben 10 fans are coming out packing heat in the comments section. Holy shit.
What'd they say? Zach,
That's
if you
nothing.
want to debate it, you can join the stream, dog. I'm not saying Fat Cobra beats Midnighter. I'm just not confident we walk away. I'm a fucking fan of both. So it's
That's
like
close.
I win regardless. But
That'd be one
that's
of
a
those matchups you
fucking
just want to
brawl.
see.
Yeah, Fat
Like
Cobra's
the
a
ultimate
menace.
MMA match. Yeah, just throw him in the ring, boys. Let's watch.
Fat Cobra doesn't really have L's either. Like he doesn't have many appearances, and when he shows up, he's there to ball. Like
Yeah, there's that one time he fucking put Merge Sentry in a headlock. That shit still gives me cancer to this day, bro. It's like, what?
nah, he's really like that, bro. Like
Holy shit.
You gotta understand, he was so fat by the time he was like 3 or 4 years old, he ate the Infinite Garden in the Heavenly Realms.
Let's go.
Infinite food.
Yo. Man said, I'm hungry infinitely.
Yeah, he killed everybody there because he ate the Infinite Garden. So they like starved. His life's a fucking tragedy. It's hilarious. He also had like 300 kids by a bunch of fucking women, but he never took care of any of them. And they all grew up to be like martial arts masters, and he had to kill every single one of them. Fucking fat cobras from the trenches. Alien X struggled to replicate even one universe in Ben 10 down to what it was, so it's hard to argue that it was like infinite universes he made. Definitely not how it was portrayed. That's such like a hopeful stance.
That's what I said earlier. It's one of those things where with Ben 10, there's going to be a lot of people making a lot of really crazy claims with them. But then when you look into it and you actually, you go past just what like the imagery kind of somewhat kind of implies, like it's just not as big. It's just not as big boy as it sounds. Even if it was of infinite universes, that still wouldn't be like a big boy thing, right? Like you'd be talking like memes. It's like imagine doing that, but on an infinite layer beyond that, about 7 times over, and you're talking like some of the medium hitters inside fucking like Marvel or DC.
See, and like the fans don't even agree because one of them said string theory, one of them said infinite, one of them said omniverse.
Yeah, it's there's just so much. There's so many things even with inverse that are just kind of like fucking weird and contradictory. I need to cover that whole topic. Honestly, I just need to make me. I know you posted one a little while ago. I just need to go real fucking hard on an entire fucking Alien X cosmology so people can stop freaking the hell out about that shit. Yo, I started a Mortal Kombat cosmology recently, and Ed Boon has been going fucking crazy on Twitter with statements for like cosmology. Like it's crazy, like the shit he's saying on Twitter right now. I guess X now. He do really be packing on them, man. Yo, let's go. Oh, dude, today's been a day, man. Holy shit. Yo, let's get some W's in chat. W's in chat, and I continue to read your comment if you post If you post up a don't know, okay? Woo!
I'm trying to find proof he created all of the Omniverse.
I think in one of the later franchises, he recreated what they consider an omniverse, but their term for omniverse, I don't think is. They're one of those people who basically just use like omniverse interchangeably with how like DC would use like the Orrery of Worlds.
Yeah, it says he remade his as he remembered it. And I don't think there's any proof he remembers that Ben the Kid remembers the universe in string theory or in infinite dimensions. He didn't even remember how, like, the taste of the smoothie was. Just saying, it gets a little risky.
Yeah, I would also trust Carrot D Top in chat over here. If memory serves right, they are rather adept whenever it comes to Ben 10 scaling. I think they did a bunch of debunks on them a while back, but I could be misremembering. Yo, the Omni-Man scaling upgrade, the Mortal Kombat crossover scaling, that's pretty meme stuff.
Yeah, I will say the Chrono Sapien Bomb reversal from Clockwork is insane. Insanely more impressive than like what Alien X does, most likely.
X.
Someone just said, hold on. There's someone that's in MK. How high do you have MK? Okay, so we got a question for you, Lumos. Daniel wants to know how high you personally have MK right now, like from your initial.
Okay, yeah. So I don't have I have not covered everything ever. I've got the BIOS from almost every game together. And now I've got to go through cutscenes, and then I've got to go through the comics. So I am a huge Mortal Kombat fan, a massive amount of knowledge. Okay, so based on just sheerly what I've seen recently and what I remember, we know that Shao Kahn's been in power for at least 500 to 1,000 years. We know that Shao Kahn has absorbed at least 4 to 6 separate realities or realms inside his own. A realm is described by Tobias to basically be the spiritual manifestation of everything on a higher level, not the actual physical realm of Earth. So realms in general are already beyond like physical dimensions, the way he described them. So realms entirely are actually pretty large, and they can contain a variety of different like dimensions, even within just one singular realm. Like I stated earlier, Shao Kahn's realm has a variety of other realms that are comparably sized, like Kuatan, where all the Shokin come from, underneath Outworld. It's like an entire realm that's subterranean. And outside of that, we have Kronika's Hourglass, which contains... Or my bad, we don't have Chronicles Hourglass. Outside of that, we have all the other separate realms that exist. There were many. How many is kind of confusing, but we're not entirely aware. Outside of that, everything there is contained by Kronika's Hourglass. Every single realm that has ever existed, not only from this current timeline, but from every single timeline that has ever existed before that, according to Kronika's designs. And as far as we are aware, there is at least over 200 seeable casts from our canon. So those are basically like every time she shows up, it's a crisis event for Mortal Kombat to reboot the entire thing. Past that, you have this realm that is around Kronika's Hourglass. We don't know entirely what that place is. Hasn't been kind of developed very well. But then outside of that, we have this place called the Void, which is beyond anything and everything that we comprehend. That is everything. That's where like Shang Tsung, Jin, and Nightwolf were all banished to by Kronika. It's a realm outside of her room, but we don't really have a lot of context to what that is. Elder gods are considered conceptual gods in verse, and then Kronika and the Titans are considered infinitely superior to any of them. An infinite amount of them, as a matter of fact, in every single timeline that's ever been and does exist inside the hourglass. So I would consider bare minimum elder gods, even at the lowest ball interpretation, as like outer gods. We have Kronika and like the other Titans. I would consider them as like at least high outer gods. And then as far as we are aware, there's nothing beyond that. Some of your one being fans are going to jerk themselves off, but to me, the one being is something that's most likely contained within Kronika's hourglass. It was simply a tool to kind of push her agendas. So that's kind of where I'm at whenever it comes to this stuff. I feel like all that stuff is pretty basic, pretty straightforward. So yeah, like high outer pretty safely. Yeah, pretty safely, I'd say. Not including DC crossovers. If you include the DC crossovers and the cosmology as being within DC, things get a lot scarier.
True. Got a request for what would Chim from Elder Scrolls achieve in Marvel or DC? So to achieve Chim, to be that level, you have to literally be beyond the wheel. The wheel containing the entirety of the Elder Scrolls cosmology. So, for reference, Dragonborn, as OP as he is, only has a couple abilities that even like tie in to the highest of realms. And Chim's outside of it. It might be Chime. Fuck if I know. I think it's Chim.
Yeah. Name pronouncing is always fucking cancer, dude.
It's
You never
spelled
know.
Chim, so who cares? But regardless, it's at least high outer to boundless. So at that point, 99% of both verses are gone. Or could be gone if they chose. Easier to argue current DC higher. So I'd say DC has a better chance.
Yeah, I never played any of the Elder Scrolls game. I got screwed on Oblivion a long ass time ago, and there was this data artifact that fell inside a desk, and I couldn't get it, and I got triggered. I never went back. I said, "Fuck this shit, bro."
Yeah, the lore that's included with it on its website is amazing. It's like this expansive library.
I hear really good stuff about it for sure. I'm not gonna lie, that Oblivion game's triggered the hell out of me. Oh, the Day of Discs. Superboy Prime and Superman greater than Marvel cosmology hot take. That's a hot take. That's a fucking hot take.
Someone said Ujira is likely Akuma victim. It's not likely.
Yeah.
He is.
Dude, Akuma is gonna fucking. I don't even like Street Fighter hardcore, and he's gonna get obliterated by Akuma. Okay.
Just fucking incinerated. Like what?
He will evaporate.
Street Fighter
his soul.
downplay is crazy because it does have lore. It's like wild that people downplay that shit.
It's like, bro, like Street Fighter's on some shit, and if you consider any Capcom inverse game, then he's got scaling to Morrigan and demons that are like actually scary. Okay. Yo. Where the people at? Where the people at? Get some comments rolling down though. Get the good stuff popping off.
Which verses do you think gets downplayed the most? Bleach. Even those that think they're like highballing or lowballing.
You know, I'd say Dark Tower.
Hold up, Bandit. You said Parallax beats the Marvel cosmology? I need you in cold now.
Chill. Yo, okay. Also, another spoiler for shit I got in the future. I have a Parallax Hal Jordan video, literally finishing being edited now. It's supposed to be a big surprise, but trust me, Parallax Hal is on some shit, but he is not like one-shotting all of Marvel's cosmology. He's a big boy, but he's not that big a boy. I remember dealing with the
weird narrative that Parallax scaled the 92 Spectre when literally Spectre pulled up and was told, whatever you do, please do not just erase him. Please don't just murder him. And he had to like hold back, and he still took no damage. Isaiah, your Parallax super Hal? Chat? Hold on, Isaiah. Let's see if you had a super chat. Did we miss a super chat? Hold on. You can continue. I'm looking for something. Isaiah hasn't popped up yet.
Yeah. I didn't see one. But yeah, no, like Hal Jordan Spectre's also on Roll 2. Yeah, Hal Jordan basically became God as the Spectre. That shit was crazy. It's like the one moment in time where he was actually above 91 Spectre, in my opinion. That version of Hal Jordan was fucking stupid. It made zero sense. Spectre just had some shit in his past, man.
Who would win, Michael Myers versus MCU Captain? If it's comic book Mike, I got Mike.
He stands a chance, yeah.
If it's everything else, he's about to get an American ass whooping.
Beat the shit out of him.
If it's movies, just movies, oh fuck. But if it's comics included and stuff, safer. Michael had a way better chance in the second movie before last. Like, the one before this last shit show, he had a way better chance.
This last movie just killed his
Vader
scaling.
Or Gandalf, who you got? Through lore, Gandalf. But if you're not woke, I would definitely say Vader. The Chim can see all the wheels from the complete outside perspective, like how we would look at a wheel.
Cooper's God. Yeah, y'all in the comments, man. I swear to God.
Definitely fuck him up. Is Alien X still stronger than Goku?
Nowadays, if you take the 27D thing, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
If you don't take the 27D thing as canon, probably not. He'd probably just get the shit kicked out of him. Unless you get real liberal with how you look at the Dragon Ball cosmology.
I don't think. Hold up. People always talk about the One Ring, but the One Ring low-key doesn't really do anything. It just like gives you like presence and shit.
Yeah, it kind of just drags you to a separate plane, and yeah, it doesn't really do shit for anybody else outside of the fucking actual Dark Lord, right?
What?
The ring doesn't do anything for anyone outside of the Dark Lord in like a significant way, right? Like he needed it because he could use it, but nobody else could, right? Isn't that how that shit works?
Come back with it, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but the One Ring by itself is useless.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, if you're saying it can control the other 19, cool, but we don't have the other 19. We just have the One Ring. We have the remote control to the TV, but we ain't got no fucking TV. That's my problem with the One Ring. That's all I'm saying. Because someone had said the One Ring was like above a Green Lantern ring and like being useful. I was like, what?
What? Like, bro, half the time when people put that shit on the Nerf.
I'll double check my thing, my folder on it. Hold on.
Yo, this hits for you. This hits for you, Jobber, okay?
What?
So this hits for you over here, okay? I don't need a reason.
I'll take a
This
rip
is
if
for
you
you.
take a rip, you sick son of a bitch.
Let's go. Yo, I got a question for you too. After while I smash this bad boy down. Yo, if you could have me make a video, Goons, what would you have me make? I'm gonna start. Fuck, I gotta start calling you Doctor again. Shit, that's what I need to do. Or Darth Goon, one of the two.
Goons.
Yeah, Darth Goons.
I would personally, for you, I'd be a little trickier with it. I would start a series on your channel. The easiest series for you to... I'm speaking from a content creator to content creator. Easiest series for you to make that would actually blow up with your channel's direction. I would make a... What Lantern would they be? And just analyze different characters across fiction.
Okay, yeah, I would pace them according to where I have the lanterns. That's interesting.
A lot of lanterns, like a lot of characters aren't simple. Like Vader's not as simple as people think. There's fear and there's rage.
Fact. I've been working on this private server on every single lantern I can scale that has like anything viable. And so I'm kind of creating like a tiering system even within like all of the lanterns. So that could be interesting to see, like how far can they get amongst like all the lanterns. Yeah, that's curious. Yeah, I might dig into that.
What if, or what lantern, which lantern would Darth Vader be? Which lantern would Guts be? Which lantern would Mario be? Which lantern would Sonic be? Which you get weird with it. Like you can do a lot of shit.
Yeah, that's curious. I might dig into that. I might create something off of that. What about you guys down low? Feel free to post something for sure. Yeah, Vader would definitely be hate. He hates himself. He hates himself for anything. Which lantern ring would be the best to take over our world? The invisible lantern core. The what the hell is the name? They're like the lamest in my opinion. The ultraviolet core, because they spread like cancer, and they in one day took over the entire universe in DC. So yeah, they're pretty scary in terms of how fast they work. Chill out, dogs. This man's still doing the research over here.
Yeah, so looking through it, like the best you could say is like if you master it and just become Sauron. or like bend to the black of it and like understand it. Like Gandalf knew it, but Gandalf is also literally from the same race. So
He didn't want nothing to do with
I
that
don't know.
ring.
It's
He was like,
tricky.
"Yo, that shit will fuck me up."
My conclusion is it's tricky.
Yeah.
Hold on. One of the Invincible creators thinks Invincible can win against Hulk, and because Hulk can't fly, and he also thinks throwing Hulk in the sun would work.
Let's go.
Big if true.
You throw him in the sun. He literally doesn't have the strength to pick him up against his will. That shit wouldn't even work on She-Hulk. She-Hulk would literally punch his fucking head in. What kind?
Shout out to LeBron for the donation. Hawkman stomped Spidey still? I'm curious. Also, Blue Beetle content on the way. Also, how powerful would GB's homophobia Lantern Corps be?
Damn.
If GB was given a Lantern Corps, probably the other cores die. That'd probably be bad. Blue Beetle content, probably don't see that happening, given that... Okay, so this is kind of a tragedy. I'm not saying it's going to be good or bad. I'm not speaking to the quality of the movie. It's projected to do $15 million at the box office. Who's checking on Blue Beetle? I'll have to wait to see. I've read a lot of Blue Beetle, actually, so if it does well in theaters or people care about it, sure. But I don't think anyone's going to care about it. And does Hawkman stomp Spidey? Yes.
Spidey, I don't think is thrown hands with the force of Black Adam. Yeah. Like, bro, Hawkman. So I was reading. I want to say it's a 2005 Justice League International. It's some Justice League garbage ass knockoff, but Hawkman was in that, or they were considering like everybody they wanted to be in the team, and Hawkman kept fucking coming up, and somebody find hell to keep bringing up Hawkman, and they're like, that guy's a fucking tank. Nothing puts him down. No matter what you do to that guy, he keeps fucking getting up. That guy like was tangoing with Mandrake recently. Like, yo, that guy is like genuinely kind of scary.
Dude, Dark Crisis let everybody eat. Holy shit.
And Dark Crisis was on some shit. Pariah came back in like a serious way, bro. That shit was on next gen. I still argue with people that don't be strong. It's like, bro, this fucking guy, he deleted the league. That's blowing up the whole multiverse, bro. Come on now.
George Lopez called Batman a fascist in the first trailer. Real.
Damn.
Hey, you don't think Batman's a fascist? Tell Batman no. Tell Batman no and see how agreeable or diplomatic he is. He says he fucking doesn't do diplomacy with Superman. He probably, yeah, Batman low-key is a fascist. He has a worldview, and you're gonna get beat up if you violate it.
Proper in this chat. What's up, dude?
Did y'all see the recent Thing comic? The Thing Tank All of Creation's Blast? Yeah, he been that, though. He been him.
That's pretty wild stuff, though. Definitely some really, really definitively solid stuff from the sounds of it.
He also punched someone that finger flicked Franklin Richards.
Oh, yeah, I did see that scan. That was pretty funny shit. Oh, dude.
Yeah, Batman be buying everything and controlling everything. He definitely is a fascist.
Pain vs. Saiyan Saga Z Warriors? The Saiyan Saga... I guess that's kind of
Time, the new
it should be faster.
Definitely check it out.
Be a lot faster.
Oma would do really well in Baki.
What's Oma from?
Kingen, Ashura, and Omega.
Ah, okay. I heard the name and I remember the last name. Yeah, to answer your cast question, wait for my video, dude. I'll go on a whole rant if you start me on that cast shit, bro. I swear to God.
Grim fights universal beings as morning exercise. Facts.
True.
Doom, shout out to Entity for the donation. Doomslayer versus Mortal Kombat. How far does he get?
We're gonna find out because he's in the new combat pack, baby. Let's go. Hey. But yeah, Doomslayer, yeah, that shit. He definitely be swinging hands up. I could definitely see that. Yo, ASAP Don coming in hot. Yo, what comic did you read to get the Phoenix scaling for the video yesterday? I.e., the White Crown Phoenix greater than Blue Marvel / God of Stories, Loki,
Defenders Beyond.
Yeah, the new Defenders Beyond run, if you haven't read it, it shakes up everything for Marvel from what I understand. It's like pretty big.
Fascists or fascism, a system of government led by a dictator who typically rules by forcefully and often violently suppressing opposition and criticism. Go read The White Knight. There's literally a story on why he was a fascist and gentrifies and all that shit. And Gotham agreed. They're like, hold up, he just beats up people and deems them morally wrong, and that's how it goes? It's like, whoa.
Trial.
It is pretty crazy. Yeah, Defenders Beyond 1 through 5, God of Stories, Loki. I actually, you know what, ASAP Don, join my Discord server. I have a whole section with all those comics for God of Stories, Loki.
Yeah, link up top in the chat.
Yeah, it's pinned. And hit the Cash App while you're at it. Non-user, unpopular opinion, Monster Garu runs the Saiyan Saga's Fade. Like, okay. I don't know why you've added me with that multiple times. Like, do you want to come on the stream and debate it? Or... yeah, check it out, ASAP Don. If you have any issues finding it, let me know.
Hey, Popper, let's go.
Thanks, Proper. You could also hit the Cash App, too, so it goes straight to us. I'll send some of it to Lumos. But anyways, the dude said Cass is Overvoid tier. He's definitely afraid of the Overvoid. I don't know.
He literally can't perceive the Overvoid. And the proof for that is when he throws Mandrak inside the Overvoid with his I-beams, Mandrak falls into it, and he literally says he doesn't know what happened to him anymore. So we have one of two things happening. Either he looks into the Overvoid, and he can...
Hold on, we got a victim. We got a potential victim.
Pull him in.
Omega Saiyan Uchiha said Mark Grayson versus Sinister Six. He runs them all. Stop the downplay. Uchiha, that is not true, sir. Can you please join the VC call? How far does Yujiro get in Naruto? Anyone with Genjutsu looks at him, he's fucked. What do you mean? Like,
Yeah. Anyone from yeah.
hey man, I ain't gotta do the Naruto verse like that.
Physically, I feel like he could definitely contend with a lot of characters, but the problem is it's like the way they fight in Naruto is so fucking annoying.
Shout out to Dragon for the donation. Aurelie versus Saitama. Didn't like Beerus kind of ignore her?
No, Beerus rolled up and Goku said, or no, Vegeta said, that shit doesn't work on him. He'll kill you. Like your gag shit doesn't work on him.
Uchiha,
And
can you join the chat, bro, so we can discuss the Sinister Six versus Grayson? Because they'll definitely slam his shit, except for like some of the bums.
Yeah, step up, dude. Everyone's a hot shot in the comment section, man. Here's your chance to jump up on stream and go hard.
It'll be a laid back discussion too.
Yeah.
Who's stronger, Thing or Spider-Man? Thing.
Oh, yeah, I think physically, yeah.
What if you gave Yujiro the 8 gates? I think he'd immediately try the 8 gates, use it, and die. That's some Yujiro shit. He'll be like, oh, my testosterone will keep me from dying. Fucking die. Doomslayer versus Mortal Kombat. Shout out to
They
him
really want
for
their
the
fun.
donation. Doomslayer clears most, but the higher tiers can take him. Yo, Genius, what do you agree with GB on? Extrapolate. Mongol versus Thing sounds like a good debate. I will easily argue Green Goblin kills Invincible. Like, we can do that, Uchiha. You can just join the chat, please. Genius, you don't have an interpretation. You just say what other people say. Real. Rune King Thor versus God of Stories Loki. I got Loki.
Angry Spider-Man versus Batman.
Genius, you can join the call to debate Hope versus the Great Evil Darkness. No one cares what Godzilla scalers have to say. That's like a pretty common fact. That's like how we operate. GB, you can definitely join. Are you in the call? Hold on. It's just on the stage. I'd actually love if you joined GB because I'm about to order some food. Read any recent series like Sakamoto Days or Mashley? No, but Mashley is on the reading list.
Yeah,
No,
I watched
I'm
that
saying
for
I don't.
a
No. I'm saying if your primary verse is Godzilla, I don't care what you have to say about scaling. That's one of the worst bases for being a scaler. I stand by that. There's a few verses I don't trust you if that's your baseline. All right, GB, I'm inviting you up. Give me 1 second. Yo.
Yep.
What's up?
What up?
Shit, dude, just chilling.
You know what I mean? There you stop.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying if you scale Godzilla it's bad. I'm saying if that's your primary verse, that's what you came up on.
Yeah, my personal interaction with Godzilla scalers per se hasn't really been the best. So
yeah, that's what I'm speaking on.
You're very erratic.
It's like John Wick fans. John Wick fans are kind of erratic.
yeah, but they're just not writers. Like the Godzilla fans are kind of weird, at least from Yo, who was that one Godzilla dude who joined VC while he was in a bathtub? You remember that? What was his name? Ghidorah?
Yeah, he's taking a bath. Yeah, like, what the fuck? Yeah, he has a channel now. Someone just mentioned him. He said Saitama's max is star level. That's why I went into my no one gives a fuck what Godzilla scalers have to say.
Saitama slams who?
Saitama's star level at best, like current Saitama.
I mean, that's stronger than current Godzilla. Let's go. That is crazy, though.
Yeah.
Are y'all bagging on Big Genius for him bringing up
Man,
the
that dude was in the
man?
bathtub that one time, and then you had to mute for him when his family was beating him up.
Oh, you talking about Godzilla? Oh yeah, nah, that was crazy. That was one of the one times I showed mercy on somebody in a debate, and it went left. Try to come at me for muting him, that was crazy.
You gotta love the glory of Discord calls at times.
Yeah, no, non-user. He was in a bathtub one time, and fucking we had to mute him because that shit was weird, and then he his family started jumping him, and GB muted it for him, even though he was screaming at GB. It was so funny. That shit used to be on my channel.
Yeah. Had a lot of goated moments back in the day. But what happens if you drop Everest on Texas? Godlike. Godlike.
Yeah, nah, Lewis, you weren't there for that. This dude was the moon has the same mass or whatever of Mount Everest. And he's like, alright, what if I throw Mount Everest at Texas? What happens? Some shit like that. You gotta
yeah.
This guy sounds like a badass.
Darnell, no one's pulling up. I can't debate if no one's pulling up. So we're just hanging out.
Yeah, let Genius pull up. He's about to drop that GED scaling on y'all, man. You know he's been researching Superman. Come on now. Big Genius.
He's been reading your sections.
Oh my god. Why y'all gotta be exposing the man on like that? Man, come on now. That's good. Then he say I do it. Come on, man. He say I do that. That's crazy, bro. Let me get in these comments. Let me see what we're talking about. You really titled this Ben Grimm with full Alien X. Oh, I'm sick. You just don't leave the Ben 10 fans alone. I'm sick.
Dude, they don't leave anybody alone.
These dudes are all 40. Ooh! Genius. Genius
Definitely
is coming
don't
in
pay
hot.
for scaling. That's crazy.
Genius is coming in hot. He said, you pay GB for research.
Genius, we can bring you on here to tell us which research I've paid for. Your dad, you literally cried in the VC and had to go get your dad. Like, I might make you kill yourself on a live stream. Don't do that. Who got the most drip in Star Wars? John Skull. I made you cry last time we were in a VC. GB was there.
Man said, speak up in the hood.
Like, you literally
Yo.
cried in the VC, bro. Like,
I
pipe down, little homie.
On these memes, boys, I'm gonna pop off here.
Alright.
Yeah, not only is this a whole instance, but I got some shit I do anyway. But yo, it was fun hanging out, and I do appreciate y'all having me. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So you guys don't work too hard out there.
See ya. Who's got the most drip in Star Wars? John Skullcap. Shout out to the donation. GB, who's got the most drip to you?
In Star Wars? C-3PO, he's literally made of gold. Isn't he?
That's so fucking
Isn't
stupid.
C-3PO literally made of gold?
I got Dooku, bro. Dooku's drip is crazy.
That's crazy. But yeah. For the record, I wouldn't call it payment as much as it's more of like agreements. That's really just what it is.
GB has all the scans. I'm not gonna fucking go look that shit up for every video. I'd rather have it in one spot.
Yeah. And then I guess you like Mortal Kombat.
I actually pay a lot for graphics, so.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, Genius is crying in VC because.
I'm not gonna lie though, like that whole Great Evil Darkness thing, like not even that, like the cosmic armor thing is just dumb as fuck. Like that shit, if I'm keeping it a buck, like if you can read that story and tell me without a shadow of a doubt that Superman's narrative wasn't a crack in the overvoid or a flaw in the overvoid, you're cross-eyed. Like you're cross-eyed, blind, illiterate, you don't speak English and you read an English comic. I don't know. Like I don't know. There's only so many excuses that I could come up with for the interpretation not being what that would be like. Like saying Superman is an overvoid tier is kind of like at this point I don't know. And then like the logic being I don't know what happened to this dude, like that's crazy. Like that's wild.
I don't know what, dude? What are you talking about?
Like the overvoid argument, like, oh, this dude Mandrak or whatever, he fell into the overvoid and cosmic armor didn't know what happened to him. Like that's so stupid. Like all of a sudden that he can't perceive they're literally in the overvoid. How can he not perceive the overvoid if they're in the overvoid? Doesn't even make sense.
He didn't go into the overvoid, he dropped them into the overvoid. For Homeboy.
Yeah, but they're there. Yeah, but they're there. That's what I'm saying. Like they're there. Like they're already there. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like they were just fighting in some like random area. It's just like, and like I said, like the narrative of Superman was the flaw in the overvoid. That was the whole point of the cosmic armor, Superman armor, was to seal that flaw, to contain that narrative. That was just a bunch of like inconsistencies and contradictions and all that crap. It's just Superman's narrative expanding, and it was like cracking the overvoid. That's blatantly in the story. Like saying Superman, it doesn't scale to the overvoid is like a wild uphill argument.
Hold on, let me see if I have the scan and pass on me.
Altair versus Cass. I don't know. I mean, you could literally just get on Twitter and write her that she beats Superman, and then she beats Superman. I'm not gonna like. I don't really care. Like Altair beating Cosmic Armor Superman isn't really like an L. Like you could
I don't
literally
think
have her beat
Cosmic
anything.
Armor scales to regular Superman's narrative though, because it is specifically described as a
no. I don't care about
Yeah.
that. But I'm saying like regular Superman was a part function of like Cosmic Armor. Like you can't say like, oh, he affected the reader. Like that's like a common thing is like he touched the panel or something or affected the reader or something like that. Like people argue that all the time. I didn't get affected when I read that comic. I don't know why people argue that. But there's no shot like people think that he somehow saw the reader or something and then like he's just not Overvoid. Like that's crazy. Like what am I below the Overvoid now? That's crazy. Like where am I? Let me find out I'm in DC.
I think they do try to argue seeing the reader or whatever, interacting with the reader is like a certain narrative level in DC.
Superman versus Optimus Prime. I am sick. And in Fortnite, Optimus Prime Bolos, probably. Yo, Splash, if you're talking, for some reason I can't hear you in the VC,
I'm not
but
talking.
I can hear you on stream.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, okay. Well, I like in the
Yo, can you hear me? Yo, can you hear me now, GB? Through Discord?
Say something now.
Yo.
One more time.
Yeah, I'm here.
No, I can only hear you through the stream.
Wow, that's so weird. It says my shit's going off.
Hold on, let me see this real quick. 1 second. It might be on my end.
Yeah, leave and rejoin because it says my thing's activated.
All right. Let's see. Try now.
Yo. What's up?
I'll just disconnect and reconnect. Hold on.
Yeah, I'll bring you back up. Let's see. Pop back in the audience and I'll reinvite you up, GB. Spectre versus Null, Lanterns versus Galactus. Since I think he would kind of have the properties of like Necron, Null would in his battle with Spectre, and probably would get around Spectre being able to affect.
All right, say something real quick.
Yo. Can you hear me?
Damn, no, I can't hear shit. Hold on. What the fuck?
Hold up. Let me go to user settings. All right, can you hear me? Let me invite him back up. Yo.
All right. I don't know. Can I hear you now? Let me see.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear anything. I don't know what it is.
That's weird.
I can hear sound from Discord, but I just can't hear you.
We'll go to recording coffee shop. Let's try that. GB, go ahead and... All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. You're on mobile. Sometimes stage is weird for mobile.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could hear everything. Like I could hear text, I could hear notifications. It just blacked out for you. All right, let me mute your stream. All right.
Lanterns versus Galactus. He probably takes the Green Lanterns. Probably. If he's not. Yo.
I'm back quick.
What up?
Yo, GB, was there anything you wanted to discuss about Cass?
Yeah, I just don't understand how he's like not, or at least the narrative of Superman isn't overvoid tier, which would ultimately
the narrative of Superman only scaled to the concept of all stories within DC, and up to that point in time, those things only scaled up to Limbo, which is why the monitors had to be on nil, even outside of Limbo, and why he had to go to Limbo and then go to a higher dimension beyond Limbo, because it was representative of the end of all stories. The narrative of Cass, and whenever he sealed the flaw of all the stories within our multiverse. Our multiverse as a whole is flawed, and that can be seen on the Overvoid. Our multiverse doesn't scale to the Overvoid, and the Overvoid is everything beyond our multiverse with infinite multiverses throughout all of them. Cass never once was capable of perceiving and or moving across the Overvoid like Overvoid tier characters, and Overvoid characters, in my opinion, are characters who scale to the entire Overvoid, or at least can maneuver across it. Even Mandrak had to build a way to get across the void to get there. So like even he had issues doing it. He had to fucking build like a platform versus like actually being able to comprehend and travel through like the power of flight or comprehend that realm or anything. Even Mandrak got lost in the Overvoid as well because he couldn't comprehend it.
Right, but it literally states that the flaw was within the Overvoid.
Okay, the multiverse is in the Overvoid, that is true.
Yeah, but it's literally stated like it was a flaw within the Overvoid. It wasn't like...
Okay, because there's many creations in the Overvoid for sure. This specific creation is flawed.
Yeah, but that flaw was literally the expanding narrative of Superman. Like, Superman was literally a problem. It's what they noticed. It's not like...
No. Superman is not what they noticed specifically. They just noticed the multiverse was flawed. Then they dispatched a monitor to investigate. When he investigated, he saw all the stories that were there. Then he created the cosmic armor afterwards. And in my opinion, it was the strongest narrative there. And thus, it filled the cracks in everything that existed.
But we know because of Doomsday Clock that Superman's narrative is what essentially is the balance and the basis of all other narratives. Like, there is no narrative within our
multiverse. Within our multiverse, that is true.
Yeah. So and this is the multiverse that literally was...
To kind of prevent y'all talking past each other, I see where the miscommunication is, if I can, like, just weigh in.
Yeah, go ahead.
So GB's saying, he hasn't said it directly, but essentially, like, even if you count that multiverse as, like, what he hurt, and it's not, like, he didn't hurt the Overvoid, that flaw within the, like, what he did, his power can be seen in the Overvoid. That's what GB is saying.
Multiverses can be seen in the Overvoid for sure, but that I don't think multiverses scale to Overvoid tier characters. They're
multiverses, when I'm saying multiverses, we're talking about entire creations or like story complexes like DC.
Yes.
So if the flaw was on that entire complex of DC, I think GB's saying that would make the narrative Overvoid tier. I don't know if I'm representing GB correctly. GB can weigh in, but...
What I'm saying, like, it's basically that, but if I was to take Doomsday Clock into account, and I was to take in recent stories 100%. Into account...
Yeah, I would too, yeah.
When the multiverse is literally expanding and the crack keeps getting bigger, it only implies that had it not been corrected, and the only way to correct it was with more Superman, essentially. Like, the only way you were going to stop the leak of Superman was with more Superman. Then if we go into Dark Crisis, we literally have a character and a universe at this point, or a creation at this point, where, what's his name, Pariah, is speaking on powers. And even though the Great Darkness, which at this point is above Presence, And if presence is an overvoid tier, then at this you just lose me.
He is.
But,
100%. He is.
Okay, so presence is overvoid tier. We know that the great darkness is within creation at this point because we've seen it there. So when Pariah, well, no, the great darkness itself is not just fragments. The great darkness itself is literally dormant in the creation, like it's just resting. Which was the agreement he had with.
I do not agree. It just chose not to destroy creation, and it kind of went back. That was the agreement between the light and the dark. The light would cease to expand.
I do think in a recent comic, Loomis, I do think in a recent comic it does show the Great Darkness resting at the in creation.
Yeah, it
literally shows do you have an idea of what comic that is? I'd love to find that.
Yeah. Fuck, I think I do have that scan, so I'll find it.
In Justice League Incarnate, I don't believe we had any evidence of that. I read that entire.
When Darkseid literally is in front of he's on universe quote unquote 0, he literally says, "This is what I'm looking for. This is it."
Okay,
and it's
true.
like he's saying it's dormant.
0, I have an entire thread on that specifically. That's just a fragment of the Great Darkness. That's why he was using that and the Black Lantern ring to gain access to the realm of the Great Darkness, so he could control all of the Great Darkness. Earth 0 is just a fragment of the Great Darkness. Yeah. It's not like the whole thing. But like I said, when I read the entirety of Justice League Incarnate, I guess you could interpret it like that, but I didn't see any statement saying that was a fragment of it. I just see him interacting with it. I'll find my scans real quick. I have an Earth 0 section.
I just see him interacting with it, and the more he interacted with it, it finally just absorbed him essentially entirely.
Because I think, where is it?
If you guys end up needing to post scans, can you all put them in main chat lobby or battle pass lobby, battle and what ifs?
Yeah.
Because I know GB has his scans, so.
I got my
Earth Omega. That was called. Hold on.
Yeah, Earth Omega.
Yeah, Earth Omega. That's what it was. Let me find it.
I think this is a really fun conversation to be had, so I'm definitely shutting down this section for you guys.
Frequency lead.
The content.
I don't even know where my Superman section is. Great Darkness.
That's at the bottom of your main event server.
Yeah.
Here it sounds more powerful.
I know that in Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, what they were saying was that Pariah tapped into a fragment of the Great Darkness's power. I know that that's where they say there was a
true, and he was doing that through his machine that he had in the Great Darkness specifically. That is true.
Yeah. I know that that's where that's stated. I know that for a fact, but I don't remember Earth 0 being stated specifically to be a fraction of the Great Darkness's power.
Okay, so I don't even think it's Incarnate. In an Infinite Frontier specifically, I think it was. Darkseid specifically says, the key to what I want, aka the Great Darkness he perceives at the end of the story, is beyond the Kraken, the Omniverse. And he's on Earth 0 while saying this. I'll post this real quick.
Real quick, before you guys continue for the live stream, can you guys clarify, or I'll clarify what they're talking. There's contention of the value of powers within DC, what scales to Overvoid tier, if Superman where he scales. So just for those tuning in now, because we have a lot of people, that's the current chat going on right now. Shout out to everyone tuning in.
8 million.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Let me find. Where did you want me to post these?
You can post it in Splash server. I already searched up the scan you were talking about in my server. Yeah, like I said, this doesn't specifically state it's a fragment of its power. That's kind of just the implication that you can take from that.
Oh, there's no consciousness there. You don't have any evidence. There's the consciousness of the Great Darkness there. He's looking for the power of the Great Darkness, and he says the Great Darkness is through a portal past the hole in the Omniverse.
Yeah, that's fine. But when I see him arrive at 0 is literally stated multiple times to be the dormant Great Darkness. It's stated multiple times.
Can you give me an example of that? Where Earth 0 is stated to be the Great Darkness itself? And then can you give me an example of it being conscious and speaking like the Great Darkness does?
It doesn't need to be conscious or speaking. It can be dormant. We know that the Great Darkness can manipulate forces while it's dormant. That's like an irrelevant argument.
True, but we know that it's actively conscious.
Yeah, but we know that it's like whether it's conscious or not, we know that it's drawing Darkseid to it.
So why would Darkseid be going after the Great Darkness itself while on Earth Zero, but going somewhere else? That doesn't make any sense. If that's the Great Darkness, the genuine Great Darkness, why would he be trying to go out to the Great Darkness?
Well, he was traveling to other places simply to confront Empty Hand. When he wanted to confront Empty Hand,
none of this had to do with confronting Empty Hand. He was trying to control the power of the Great Darkness right here.
No, I'm saying that it did, because when he confronts Empty Hand is the one who he knows has the answers. And that's what he's looking for. When he goes to kill the Quintessence and everything, even they themselves, I believe it's in, let me see. I know in Infinite Frontier 1 and 2. Frontier, yeah. Yeah, okay. So like when he does this, even they themselves are like saying, oh, this power is dormant type shit. And when you look at that, I don't care if it's dormant or not. I'm not saying that it's conscious. That doesn't. What I'm saying is characters like Pariah.
The Great Darkness spoke to Darkseid in the Great Darkness whenever he followed Empty Hand into the Great Darkness. The Great Darkness is there.
Yeah, the Great Darkness has a hold. The Great Darkness has a hold of anything that it's connected to, obviously. That's why Pariah was being manipulated. Pariah allowed the Great Darkness to speak to him, and it didn't matter where Pariah was. Pariah was literally in the crisis event world, and he was still getting touched by it.
I agree, because he was funneling the dark energies at that point. Yeah, like that makes 100% sense to me. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I don't think that Darkseid coming into contact or realization similar to Pariah, where Pariah's on the crisis world, and he all of a sudden, like from one panel to another, Pariah's speaking to the Great Darkness, and there's nothing but blackness around him. I don't think that that's coherent with the Great Darkness being where Empty Hand was. That's just Great Darkness doing what it does in this story. It's similar to Constantine.
He literally merged with the Great Darkness there. He literally became one with the Great Darkness inside that realm.
That's where he lost his will. That's where he lost his will to the Great Darkness.
Can you give me any evidence that the Great Darkness is Earth Zero?
Okay, we've already been over this. We passed over this already, but all right. Let me see.
The closest thing to a counter narrative answering a comment would be Darkseid or Doomsday. Continue, fellas.
Yeah, it would literally be within. I just lost it. It would literally be within.
It has to be within the 5 issues of Infinite Frontier. Of Infinite Frontier, has to be.
Yeah, they literally say it's literally the Quintessence looking at the threat that quote unquote she worried about it. But you already know what it is, though. Why do I have to post these scans?
I just want to be 100% sure, because I can't find a scan that specifically notates it as the Great Darkness, or it's a fragment of it. I agree with that, but there's nothing that states it's a fragment of it. Do you think it's the whole Great Darkness, Earth Zero?
Yeah, that's what I think that. The least assumptions to make would be to go through that route and just say yes.
So an Empty Hand's plan was to bring the Great Darkness and summon it inside creation. Was his plan just didn't answer?
Well, that had nothing to do with Empty Hand up until that point. That was just the Great Darkness agreement.
If Earth Zero is here and that's the Great Darkness, he's already here. Why would he have to summon the Great Darkness inside creation then, if the Great Darkness is already here?
When is Empty Hand summoning the Great Darkness?
That's the whole point of the Annihilation Machine, or whatever he's building on an Incarnate. They specify that. I'll find the scan real quick. The Oblivion Machine, that's the name of that. something. The Oblivion Machine's goal is to basically summon the Great Darkness inside creation. I'll find it. Come on, internet. Don't fail me now. Let's see.
Okay. All right. Yeah, here it is. I got it. All right. I got it.
It's like issue 4 or something. No, it's longer.
Here you go. I'll post it in main event. Wait, you said main lobby or where else? Like, where do you want me to post this? Oh, okay, in Battle What Ifs.
Yeah, like, even after the events of the Earth Zero stuff...
If anyone wants to see the scans, join my Discord and look at Battles and What Ifs.
Yeah, look, even after the events of the scans you posted, Empty Hand, who is literally the left hand of the Great Darkness itself, his entire long con plan is to birth the Great Darkness into this multiverse.
Yeah. That would actually, okay. So if it's dormant in the multiverse, right? If it's literally dormant, there's no way it can be birthed into something it's not at. It's dormant there. You have to reawaken it. Like, that makes perfect sense.
No, he's being born.
He's not saying. Are you saying that the Great Darkness isn't alive? Because to be born, you have to not exist.
It's beyond those things. It's outside. It's like within this realm. Okay,
so Luma, so if we're gonna say that it's beyond the ideas of like not alive, death, and predominantly being born, these are just figurative of speech at this point. So you're just taking an interpretation. I'm telling you that your scan says, hold on. Your scan says it's going to be birthed within the multiverse. I'm telling you it's already dormant there.
Okay, even if that's the interpretation you're taking, I wouldn't consider the Great Darkness there then. Any relevant sense.
Yeah, it's just dormant. It's not there. It's not.
I mean, that's fair. If that's the interpretation you have with it, that's fair. You said in this first scan that you posted that this is them saying it's the Great Darkness there?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I still believe she will lead us to our next stage. As Wonderverse said, her multiverse is filled with all sorts of shit. We should have told her that we already tracked the threat she worried about. If she had joined us, Wonder Woman would have seen that there is nothing we can't control or defeat. Earth Omega, as it was called. Are you saying they trapped the Great Darkness here?
No, they just identified where it is, and they made the universe around it.
None of this says this is the Great Darkness.
But you do. Okay, so you don't think that Wonder Woman was talking about? You know, like the Wonder Woman they're talking about, like after Death Metal, right?
The Golden Wonder Woman. Yeah.
Yeah, you know that Golden Wonder Woman's fear is Great Darkness. Like, that's narratively.
No, she had no idea about the Great Darkness.
No, but she was warned about it when she was warned.
She was warned about a danger that would be coming for sure, and that danger took the form of Pariah
through the Great Darkness, right?
Well, no. It took the form of Pariah, who was using the powers of the Great Darkness, right? They just warned her about the danger. We don't have any proof. We don't have any proof that they warned her specifically about the Great Darkness, or even Pariah directly. That was just the next big crisis that came, right?
Yeah, but they know they're literally looking at the planet that is dormant.
These guys wouldn't have a clue. These guys are the fucking quintessence. They wouldn't have an idea of any of that.
Are you saying that the quintessence, which serves the presence directly, doesn't know what the Great Darkness is? I'm
saying that guys,
if anybody knows, it's them.
Don't have the ability to do any of that with the Great Darkness. They're so far out of their league with the Great Darkness that they're not going to be able to even comprehend it.
It's literally, Spectre has literally interacted with Presence directly. Like, why wouldn't he be able to understand what the Great Darkness is?
That's because the Presence chooses lower forms for him to comprehend. The Great Darkness doesn't have that issue. And to be fair, the Spectre did come across the Great Darkness way back in the day in Swamp Thing. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so we're kind of about to go in circles, and I'll just enter the conversation because I don't have a dog in this fight, so I'll just kind of talk as well. I think, in my opinion, it's logical to say that Wonder Woman did fear Great Darkness. My first reasoning I would put is she has felt the power and touch of the presence and the light of the presence, and the fear would be the opposite. So I do think that is logical. On top of this, I want to say there is a scan saying the Great Darkness lied dormant. So
The Great Darkness does lie dormant outside our creation. In Swamp Thing, or not Swamp Thing, what is it called? It's a Dark Crisis tie-in where you literally see the Great Darkness still out and about, and he takes a variety of different forms in front of Constantine, as a matter of fact, and kind of explains a variety of things. Now, there is an interpretation there where you could see that as Lucifer, but take that as you will.
I don't think that that's Lucifer. If anything, I think Lucifer is just like another aspect of the Great Darkness.
There is also, so I'd like to add this as well. There is a author statement, not saying we go by that every time, but there is an author statement that Lucifer is one of the emanations of the GED. He's one of the faces.
But even if that's considered, Constantine in that comic had to go into the Great Darkness to talk to the Great Darkness. In that comic, it's not dormant.
So you're saying that the comic is contradicting itself and the Great Darkness isn't dormant?
I'm saying that the Great Darkness was woken up by the actions of the multiverse as time went on. Yes. And Incarnate, issue 4... Fuck, hold up, let me find it. We get the whole history of the multiverse, and they literally say the Great Darkness woke up, and it even cursed Dr. Manhattan to go fucking meme around on all of creation. That's why Dr. Manhattan blew up everything.
So wouldn't dormant up to that point apply, though? Like, you could be dormant
up to Final Crisis. Yeah, dormant up to Final Crisis. Earth Zero came to be after Death Metal. So, like, that's years down the road.
Okay, so when you're talking about Dark Crisis and you're talking about dormant, are you saying that...
Oh, actually, there it is. I found it. Fragment of the Great Darkness. There it is. I knew I had found it somewhere. I knew I had it. There it is. Issue 5. I should have just stuck with my fucking guns over here. Mysterious Elseworld remains undiscovered, while Earth Omega was actually a fragment of the Great Darkness imprisoned by the all-powerful in Quintessence. So that's just a fragment of the Great Darkness. That's not the Great Darkness itself. A fragment, okay, so, I could see like the Quintessence grabbing for sure.
Okay, so that's fine. Are you willing to say that people like Constantine, like you said, people like Pariah, like you said, have interacted directly with the Great Darkness?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, so when you're talking about them interacting with the Great Darkness, and you're saying that the Great Darkness has awoken, and at this point, when Pariah, there's nothing in creation except what Pariah has allowed. When Pariah is showing everything, and he's showing the power like of the Great Darkness and everything, Pariah states verbatim, the strongest force in creation is hope. That's literally what he said.
Oh, can I interject with something from this?
That scales to creation. Yeah.
This scan actually further states that, let me put the exact quote, with his Godhead fully reassembled, his being the Great Darkness, the one true dark side killed the Quintessence and seized control of Earth Omega. I don't see how Darkseid could scale above the Quintessence, but still be below the Great Darkness. Right, that's there. If that makes sense.
So you're saying that Darkseid should still be above the Quintessence, but you don't think, or you think it's weird that he's not equivocal to the Great Darkness?
I think there's a kind of a case that Great Darkness was like restricted or whatever, suppressed.
The way I look at it is he doesn't care, because if these guys take this, they're dragging the Great Darkness into their creation. If creation explodes, he wins, right? He made a deal not to actively do anything, but passively his mind hacks still happen, right? Like those mind hacks are still forcing people to want to blow up creation because the Great Darkness hates creation at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's fine. No, what Flash was essentially getting at, and it's just I just didn't really care to go down that road because I don't need it. But it's essentially saying that if all the pieces are formed, this thing that's in the center of the multiverse, this thing that's at the center of the multiverse, Earth Zero, is going to be where the Great Darkness is born. That's where it is. If that's at the center of the universe, and Empty Hand is saying, I'm going to birth it in the multiverse, and that's at the center of the multiverse, that's where the Great Darkness is going to come from. That fragment...
Okay. If that's the case, that's fair. Great Darkness is still actively conscious outside in the Great Darkness. I'm okay with that idea, but that doesn't mean that that is the Great Darkness. We have clear evidence that the Great Darkness is still conscious and actively working out in the Great Darkness. That may be the Great Darkness later on. I'm okay with it being it later on, growing into and subsuming creation inside the Great Darkness. I'm fine with that, but that doesn't mean it's the Great Darkness right now.
Okay, but that's fine. I don't care about that. I'm willing to sacrifice that argument for the greater cause.
Okay.
So, like I said, when Hope, which is Superman, is stated to be the greatest force in the multiverse, which at this point is oozing with Great Darkness energy. It's literally oozing with it.
Superman's story back during the events of Cosmic Armor Superman didn't have any of those feats.
That's fine. We know that everything in DC is canon, so there's no reason why Superman now isn't applicable to the connective narrative back then.
Hold on. I was arguing specific Cass in that event. I'm not arguing
Superman is part of Cass. Superman is part of Cass.
Cass was all of Superman up to the story of Final Crisis. You can't add feats to Cosmic Armor Superman for subversions of him that take place post that event. That doesn't make any sense.
Are you saying that Superman
was destroyed as a concept?
That's fine. Are you saying that Superman's story wasn't growing? Are you saying that Superman's story at that time wasn't affecting the Overvoid?
Do you understand the difference between Superman's story and Cosmic Armor Superman?
Yeah, I understand that Cosmic Armor Superman was meant to contain Superman's story, yes.
No, Cosmic Armor Superman was meant to contain all stories within DC, and it was what are every single person's narrative. Every single person's narrative. They're all created off of his, but all of them at the same time.
Hold on, we had a donation. Someone wants us to consider this evidence. The chat has entered evidence into the case. Corey Bloomberg, $2, said Swamp Thing Volume 2, Issue 49, GB got it.
Swamp Thing Volume 2, Issue 49 is where the hands both shake and make the agreement between the light and the dark, but then they go back to their own place. The Great Darkness does not stay inside of creation after that. So, Corey Bloomberg, I appreciate you for your donation, but didn't really have much to say what we're talking about.
But all the evidence that you're suggesting suggests that the Great Darkness, for the most part, is already within the multiverse at this point. Not only is
there is a fragment of it, yeah, but not the whole thing.
What are the pieces that are missing? You're talking about Empty Hand and Darkseid, right?
Yeah, Empty Hand has to basically summon the consciousness inside the multiverse. And if you want to say it's Earth Zero, I'm even okay with that interpretation. But his goal was still to birth him inside. Even if it's Earth Zero, he's not there right now. He does not exist there.
Okay, so we're willing to accept that the only pieces missing from him is Darkseid as the other hand at this point.
No, he already merged it. Oh, yeah, up to that point. Yeah. That's fair.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. For the most part, even if, let's say the hand of the Great Darkness is, example, 10% of him. Let's say it's 20% of him. 80% of him would be residing through the multiverse at that point. If
you have evidence of that, his whole consciousness is outside of the multiverse.
Hold on, Lumos. You just conceded the only thing missing is Darkseid.
No. The only thing missing from the totality of his form, which is outside of the multiverse, that is a small infinitesimal fragment of the Great Darkness inside the multiverse. I don't think that I'm not. I don't think that the Earth Zero, the fragment that's inside Earth Zero, is equatable to like Empty Hand or like Darkseid in its totality once he fused back with the Great Darkness. Great Darkness had to go. Darkseid had to go outside of creation and merge with the Great Darkness there. And guess what? We saw his whole form out there, including Empty Hand as his left hand, Darkseid as his right hand, his body as well.
You don't know, but you don't know where they went exactly, though. That's the problem. You don't know where they went. You just
it was a realm of infinite darkness where they all merged with the Great Darkness. We don't have a word saying it, but that's pretty straightforward at the same time, right? Like
I could literally just say, based on the fact that you already admitted the only thing missing was Darkseid as a hand, I could literally just say they went to Earth Zero. Like, I can literally just say that.
There's no evidence for it at all.
But you just,
that's a known place. That's a known place.
Okay,
even if that is the case, even if that is the case, no, actually, I can't say that, because in that Swamp Thing tie-in during Dark Crisis, they literally go into the Great Darkness and find the Great Darkness there, and they talk to it.
Well, I mean, they're obviously going to find the Great Darkness from the Great Darkness. The point is that you've already conceded the only thing missing is his hand.
Hold on. If that's the case, then they're not all in Earth. They're in the Great Darkness.
Where's the Great Darkness?
Outside of the entire Overvoid. Yes.
So the Great Darkness is outside of the entire Overvoid. Where is it though? Like, where?
It's the everything outside of the Overvoid.
Okay, but we
everything
also
outside of the light.
Okay. But we also see by your scans that you provided,
yes,
Hand was going to birth it within the multiverse. We know that the one thing at the center of the multiverse is Earth Zero. We know that by your hold on. The only thing missing from it by your admission was Darkseid. So everything points to Earth Zero predominantly being the Great Darkness. Literally everything. You can say it was a fragment.
Literally not. No, literally not. Okay. Everything we have in this entire era says the Great Darkness is still outside of the multiverse, not inside it, not inside Earth Zero or anything like that.
But you literally just went over that. But when you went over that, you literally said that there was no evidence to support that. You just said that the implication was obvious.
Okay, if I manage to misspeak at some point in time, let me rephrase, all right? Earth Zero is a fragment of the Great Darkness. If you believe that Empty Hand was trying to make him reborn inside that fragment, I'm cool with that. I think that makes sense. But the totality of the Great Darkness is not inside Earth Zero, and there's no evidence to back that. Now, if you want to insinuate you believe that they were teleporting in there the whole time, that's fair. There's just nothing to rep that. I think it's far more likely that they're going into the Great Darkness, where we see characters literally travel into the Great Darkness, and have characters who have powers who have always traveled into the Great Darkness, such as Alan Scott's son, travel into the Great Darkness using Alan Scott and his son, and send characters there who go there and get Pariah shit from them. Pariah never operated on Earth Zero at any point in time.
Why would Pariah have to operate on Earth Zero if he's literally already directly connected to the Great Darkness?
Well, because he was literally going into the Great Darkness, and other characters had to go into the Great Darkness via him.
He didn't care about going into the Great Darkness. The way he was talking to the Great Darkness is the same.
He did care about going into the Great Darkness. He actually put the machine where he gets his powers from inside the Great Darkness. That's where Superman and Swamp Thing go to get his machine.
All he wanted was acknowledgement from the Great Darkness. Throughout the entire knowledge, there's literally scans where he's saying, "Please acknowledge me. I've done good."
Okay, yeah, nobody's saying that's not the case. That doesn't change the fact that he went into the Great Darkness and put his technology there.
Him talking to the Great Darkness, it doesn't matter. Lumos, you cannot pinpoint me. You've said it yourself. You cannot pinpoint to me where the Great Darkness is. For all we know,
outside
they could literally be
it's outside of creation.
But Lumos,
it's the unknowable.
Lumos, you've already stated to me that in his search for the Great Darkness, which led him to Earth Zero, the only piece missing from the Great Darkness was Darkseid. So you're telling me that all evidence that you've submitted.
The only significant amount of him that was missing. The Earth Zero isn't a significant amount of him. We don't have.
Where does it say that?
We have a I don't typically consider a fragment of something a large chunk.
It can be.
It can be. I don't think most people normally use it that way. Whenever you're talking about a fragment of something, you don't traditionally consider it like 50% or more. The amount that we saw all rejoin itself whenever Empty Hand, Darkseid, and Pariah all rolled up in the Great Darkness, and we saw the form that we had.
That's fine, but you've already admitted that the only piece missing from it was Darkseid.
From the Great Darkness in general, not Earth Zero. You keep trying to tie my arguments into Earth Zero when those are yours.
Lumos, I don't have to. Lumos,
can I state the obvious?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
We're reaching an impasse, so we'll kind of restate because we are gonna reach a point where it's kind of, you both are gonna be able to say we just have like different assumptions of like a simpler truth or whatever. But before we get to that, I do want to say that this seems like a case where if this is fragment is held down by the quintessence, right? But it's needed for the great evil darkness. If like most of the great evil darkness is outside of that or beyond that fragment or whatever, it would be able to just get it.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't care that creation. It's like whatever. It'll probably blow it up at some point. Like he doesn't care about some infinitesimal fragment of his power going in there at all. But at the end of the day,
I also have another wrinkle to the argument. I feel like we've been led narratively that a lot of these characters are a good portion of the great evil darkness, and they represent it and stuff like that. And most of those reside within creation. So that's probably my... I see both sides. I can't say I see both sides.
I
also,
agree.
The chat, let me answer this for the chat. The chat asked me Goku's speed tier and DBS, I have him at immeasurable. Alright, continue.
I think that... Fuck, I lost where I was going. GB, go ahead and give your extra, your outro here for the arguments here.
I'm just gonna post this in battles and what ifs. Right here. This is Infinite Frontier 6. I just decided to finally just look at it and like grab it from my servers because I didn't feel like looking through all that shit. So Darkseid is literally saying that Earth Zero was never a planet, and then when he gets closer to it, he literally refers to it as the Great Darkness. If anybody knows at this point, we know that Empty Hand, as per Lumos' scan, wants to birth the Great Darkness within the multiverse. We know that Darkseid considers Earth Zero to be the Great Darkness. We know that it is a fragment of the Great Darkness. We know that per Lumos' statement, the only thing missing from it was Darkseid as the hand. Everything points to Earth Zero being the majority of the Great Darkness. Everything, like every sign in Vegas is lighting up, pointing at Earth Zero being the Great Darkness. Every single light in Vegas is pointing to it.
Hey, in that scene, hey, refresh me for the chat. We're talking about Infinite Frontier. You can also just join my Discord and look at the scans. Do you guys remember where they are during that meeting place of the hands?
This is on...
That was in Kuwait. That was in some random place on Earth, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, well, they're looking at the Great Darkness there, so it's like, I do...
Hold on. Are you talking this last scan, the last scan he posted?
Hold on. No, he's talking about the hands. He's talking about...
Yeah, the ones with all the hands in it, and he says, I gathered you here. In the following scan, it shows the Great Darkness. Like, they're on the precipice of the Great Darkness.
Yeah, he says right here that the Great Darkness wakes, right? And we and we will find the Flash and the Crack in the Omniverse. I'm not the only one who seeks this power, but I'm the only one who control the Great Darkness. Yeah. That's like the big meme for everything there.
Yeah, and he literally he's speaking about Earth Zero when he talks.
Can I give a wild take because I have a simple answer? This might be the simpler truth. It's something neither of you have said. It's quite entirely possible that if you did... No, I will say, I believe, if you destroy that fraction, Great Evil Darkness is fine. Why? Because ultimately, it can't be contained within creation. So it would re-manifest outside.
Yeah, he's already outside creation.
Hold on. However, True Form Pennywise has the same property, same function. and he can reduce himself within creation, be within creation, can be trapped there. Now, if you destroy him within there, he'll just reform outside. I'm saying that could very well be the case with the Great Darkness.
Yeah, my thing, look, at the end of the day, I feel like
just
I've provided.
For me, this is, I just want to like give the chat as well a little more perspective for me. I don't feel like you can capture a part of the presence. I don't think you can capture like a part of Great Evil Darkness, especially when they're on such an abstract level. Like capturing that and create, that's tough. Like I feel like it would have to be willingly given, or that's a part of them. Like it actually is like just a function of them.
I think I think he intends it to be there. Yeah, he wants it to be there for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think as per the agreement, he decided to go dormant. He was placed at the center of the multiverse, quote unquote, caged, and in doing so, that's where he will be birthed.
This world had been here since before the first crisis. They said that was before he showed up with the handshake.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that he can't be like literally just dormant there. That doesn't mean that he just.
Okay, okay. If that's the case, then yeah, he's dormant there. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, my thing is this. This is where I'm arguing that, whatever. At this point, we like all signs point to that being Great Darkness, and I feel.
Wait, if that was the Great Darkness, and it's been there since before the first creation, then the Great Darkness, after the first crisis, shows up from outside our reality, outside everything, and invades our reality. Why would he have had to if he was dormant inside World Zero?
Wasn't he dormant after after that arm wrestling contest? Isn't that where the agreement happened?
So you're saying like went dormant inside Earth Zero after that event?
Yeah, when the agreement happens, he literally just goes dormant. Yeah,
that'd be cool. If you have those scans, dude, hit me with them. That'd be fucking sick.
Well, I'm just the agreement, like the whole narrative crisis event is that he's not going to physically, or I guess you could say actively interact or intervene with people's destinies and the multiverse and shit. He's doing it while he's dormant. The whole agreement with the pact was that they would let the multiverse do what the multiverse does. So it just like kind of like the narrative just kind of follows through. Like I was saying, everything's pointing to that being it. And the whole point is that we have multiple characters at this point who have interacted directly with it, and Hope was stated to be the strongest thing in creation. At that point, that would put Hope above the Great Darkness. So, and then if we go even further back to people who have interacted with aspects of the Great Darkness, as Splash said earlier, I think Splash said that Lucifer was, what do you call that crap?
An avatar.
Emanation.
Or emanation, yeah.
We have moments like in Sandman, where Sandman's having a little rap battle like he's in 8 Mile with a demon from hell, and the demon essentially utters, I'm the darkness, I am all-consuming. And the only thing that battled it was Hope. So there's, for years now, it's not just, this isn't a new thing, this has been a thing for years. We have Superman's narrative, which I've explained, he balances all things in DC narratively, is cracking the Overvoid. We have Sandman using Hope as a reference to defeat the Great Darkness, and then we have Hope being directly stated to being the strongest thing in creation when Great Darkness is in creation at the time. This is nothing new. This is something that's been, Superman narrative has been Overvoid here for I don't know how many years now. It's probably since I was like 17. Yeah. So I don't feel like this is anything new, and I feel like that, like, if you read all those comics, I feel like the evidence, like I said, all the lights in Vegas are pointing to one answer. So I don't see like how a character, just a dude not like looking into the Overvoid, not knowing what happened to somebody, debunks all of that. Like that's kind of like crazy. Okay, especially since we know that the reader is beyond. Like we know that a lot of people argue that the reader. Yeah, I'm just closing. We just like last statement. We know that the reader was affected, quote unquote, by Cosmic Armor Superman, quote unquote, and I'm definitely above the Overvoid. Like I don't know how I'm not, but like, so it's whatever. Like, if all that isn't enough, then I don't know what will be enough at that point. Man would have to literally punch the Overvoid and destroy it.
Okay, so for my closing arguments. The Great Darkness is located outside of the multiverse, outside of the Overvoid. It's always been there. It's been laying dormant there for a long ass time. Earth Zero may be some plans involved in showing back up to destroy the multiverse, but there's zero evidence that characters are teleporting inside Earth Zero whenever they're going inside the Great Darkness. All the lights in Vegas can point you somewhere, but that doesn't mean your destination is actually going to lead you to what you want or the truth of anything. Whenever it comes to this specific matter, all I'm saying is that the Great Darkness has always been outside the multiverse. I can't find any evidence about anything tying him as a very large fragment of his portion inside Earth Zero. If that changes in later content, hey, I'll be the first guy to turn it around. The entire purpose of the argument almost had zero to do with the Great Darkness in all reality. It was all about Cosmic Armor Superman. And at the end of the Cosmic Armor Superman just sealed all the stories in our multiverse. Our multiverse is something that is on the Overvoid, but I don't consider our multiverse itself Overvoid tier, because then every multiverse would be, I think, beings who are powerful enough to move across, comprehend, and understand the Overvoid, such as Lucifer, the Presence, the Judges of the Source, the Hands, Perpetua, etc., etc. Characters like that who can move across and casually blow up entire multiverses, comprehend those realms, and not be confused by them are all important. The reason why Cosmic Armor Superman cannot do that is Cosmic Armor Superman, who is the ultimate fusion of both Superman's story and the cosmic armor being the metals, the 10th metals that throughout all of creation to seal us in the flaw. It wasn't just Superman's story. It was the cosmic armor being piloted by Superman's story specifically that made him ultra dangerous. And whenever he threw Mandrak off the side of the multiverse, he lost Mandrak. Even Mandrak got lost. Mandrak fell into the dark multiverse, so one of two things happened. Cosmic Armor Superman either couldn't see him fall into oblivion in the Overvoid, a realm to which he could not comprehend, or he fell into the dark multiverse, and in that realm, Cosmic Armor Superman couldn't comprehend him, which would limit his scaling even further, but I'm not willing to take that argument right now, but I can see the arguments for it. Cosmic Armor Superman, if we get something later on, which we won't because he was destroyed and disfigured and dismembered, if we do get more content on him later on, and he does go beyond that, I'll definitely change my opinion on it, but until we get for proof, I'm just not going to put him up there with Lucifer and other big boys who can travel the Overvoid, or even even have comparisons of that character being comparable to the Overvoid itself, like or like people who are at least capable of roaming across it. So until we get more, I'm pretty safe that the Cosmic Armor Superman and the story of Superman is a character who only extends to the end of the multiverse, not into the Overvoid, and isn't dangerous enough to the totality of the Overvoid, or characters who are capable of roaming across the Overvoid, because they would casually look at characters like Cosmic Armor Superman and delete them like they were not there. That would be my argument.
All right, so we can let like chat and viewers later. They can talk about it. Someone in the chat said DC is not high outer.
What?
Would you like to join the stream to talk about it? Start a fresh debate, as it is one of the topics on screen. Ultimate Apex Nap, if you would like to join the stream. You want to join the stream? Alright.
My God, this guy is on some shit. Yo, contradictions to DC being high out.
Alright, Nap, can you join the Discord, please? It's pinned as a comment. Yeah, if chat wants to weigh in on that conversation about the Great Evil Darkness, y'all can. Good combo. Yeah. And we're segueing into this, it appears.
I've still got some shit I gotta go to. I just came back because there was some good shit being said. Yo, if you need me back on, feel free to hit me up, bro. Be safe.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm glad you like intervened and just put us on closing arguments.
Yeah, I mean, y'all, at that point, y'all had, like, it was obvious, it's just, what the fuck y'all think about what you both read, so, just
Yeah,
conclude,
I
you know?
yeah. It's
I
just like,
didn't, it
I
was, like,
don't,
it was a weird situation, too, because I did feel like he was, like, he genuinely believed his stance, you genuinely believed your stance, you both were presenting pretty much similar evidence, so, just go to conclusions. That's all it is.
yeah, no, I have no doubt, like, that's just how Lumos is, like, he's definitely gonna believe what he is, but, like, the stance he has, but,
Yeah.
like, when you're, like, if, like, the whole reason that I just didn't even care to drill it any longer is because, like, at that point, he's conceding points and then he's moving goalposts, and I was just like, all right, like, I don't care at this point anymore, like, just whatever. It reminded me of the Zeus argument all over again, so, like, he deadass looked at a scan of Darkseid saying that Earth Omega is the Great Darkness, and he just kind of, like, stuttered around words and tried to, like, yeah, like, I just don't give a fuck about that shit.
I
At that
understood
point, it's
his
like, whatever.
fragment thing. That definitely made sense. Hold on. When I'm waiting for this person to join. I thought that was the most concrete counter, in my opinion. Was like, oh, it says it's only a fragment or whatever. I thought it was an interesting conversation as someone who knows both of you read it. The fragment thing was probably his best argument. You had a few as well. So it was really, I thought it was
Yeah.
going.
I mean, no,
It would have
yeah.
gotten toxic though if it kept going.
No, like, no, I like, literally, when it got to the point where he conceded, like, what was missing from the fragment was Darkseid, and then he tried to backpedal on that. At that point, I had flashbacks of his argument with Zeus,
In
and
my
I kind of,
opinion,
like,
right there though, like, because I understand what you mean, like, where you thought that, because he did rephrase it later, but like, you should have, in my opinion, this is what I would have done. I would have just been like, all right, like, we're good. My opinion probably should have stopped there, you know?
yeah, no, I mean, you definitely, like, I feel like you would have been more aggressive about pinning him on that, but I just didn't care to, because at that point, like, if he's gonna concede something and then backpedal on it, then at that point, like, it's whatever. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not gonna stress about that shit.
Yeah, Lumos, he's also not saying it in, like, it's a dishonest way. He's saying the goalpost was like, you agreed to something that pretty much qualified his stance, and then you retconned your statement. That's all he's saying.
Yeah, like, I'm not
Pretty
about
much
to,
all
like,
he's saying.
start screaming over, like, I just don't have the energy to scream in debates anymore. It's just, like, not. Havoc took that out of me when we argued 8 hours on Broly.
Yeah, Havoc will argue to infinity. Could Goku even beat the Slayer in lore? Like Doom Slayer? No. Yo, that dude to pop up on the stream. Rosito, it's not pop.
Is he not waiting in the call?
Nah. And no one joined yet. Yo, Net, are
Is he
you
even
still
in the
here?
server?
Yo, GB, sales aside, do you think Blue Beetle will be a good movie?
Fuck no. The CGI looks terrible. The armor like, the outfit looks goofy. Like, he looks like a bobblehead, and I just have no faith in that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, people like Blue Beetle for things that have nothing to do with Blue Beetle's story. Like, there's nothing about Blue Beetle that's wrong. Like, he's Hispanic, okay, or Latino, you know, like, however you want to label it, Latinx. And then he's a beetle dude. He kind of looks like a Power Ranger, and that's where, like, the coolness cuts off. It's just like, you know.
Yo, Lumos, I'm not trying to misrepresent what you said. I felt like you agreed Darkseid was, like, the last piece. So, if, like, you don't think you said that, then I'm not trying to misrepresent you.
No, nobody's saying you agreed with my initial point. If you had agreed with my initial point, we wouldn't have had that argument or that discussion. I'm I'm saying that you conceded like a few points during the argument and then you backpedaled on them, which is like at that point that's when I kind of like mentally checked out of the discussion. So I just didn't care.
Okay, so Nep, what's your Discord name, buddy? So can you comment in main chat, Nep? Comment in the main chat. It's called main lobby. Go ahead and comment, and we'll get you in this call.
Bro, Zito said Beetle fought Mongol. Hey, if he won that fight, Blue Beetle's up big time. That's a nice fight, but that doesn't make it a good story.
Yeah, just comment in main lobby.
No, Spider-Man slams Invincible. Why is it still an argument? Invincible fans really be writing crazy. Hey, I'm not gonna lie though. If you go by the artist drawings, Invincible low-key one-shot Spider-Man. If you go by artist drawings, because the artist of Invincible was out here having Superboy Prime getting his chin knocked off, so Spider-Man's in trouble if that's if that's the skilling you're using. I don't know. Spider-Man's in trouble. Yeah, Invincible verse gets dog walk for Spider-Man. Mark has uni scaling. Yeah, but Invincible has uni scaling, and you can probably get him to plus. That doesn't really do anything for Spider-Man Wink. Like, you don't want to hear Spider-Man Wink, trust me. Like, if y'all don't fuck with Spider-Man, you don't want to hear Spider-Man Wink. Trust me, like, it's really bad. It gets crazy. Why do people keep saying Punisher from the TV show versus John Wick? What do you got in this question?
I don't know. That's a fuck. I've seen Punisher's tougher. I guess you could maybe argue Wick's better technical skill hand to hand. That's probably his saving grace if you do. But if it goes to hand to hand, no shot. I just don't see Wick finishing him hand to hand. If you also use the high end Wick gun draw feats, Punisher did the same shit in one of the episodes. So I don't know. I feel like him clearing that entire marine area or that entire bunker pretty much by himself was probably more impressive than what Wick has done. But I can see both sides. While I grab my food, can you give your side?
Yeah. Here's a better question for the chat. Do y'all think Wick is going to be able to handle MCU Daredevil? How do y'all feel about that? Hit the chat up. Okay. We have Weskin Time says hell no. Tiptoe Joe says Carrot Drop says fuck no. Okay, so we have 2 no's to a yes. Parker says it's an interesting fight. Because I want y'all to, okay, so like while y'all giving your answers, I just want y'all to understand that for the most part, when Punisher's going all out, he kind of dogged Daredevil. Like, I mean, let me see. That was an asshole.
By the way, Daredevil's upscaling from that Spider-Man feature is crazy for Punisher scaling.
You're talking about when he was like the best lawyer?
Nah, he reacted before Spider-Man did to catch a brick.
Oh, yeah. But like, did you hear what I like? You obviously heard what I said, right?
Nah.
I was saying that like, I was asking the chat essentially how they feel about Daredevil versus Wick. For the most part, chat seems to think that Murdoch, Big Matthew, murders Wick. But if they feel like that, the Wick fight with Punisher can't be close because Punisher had Daredevil helpless, essentially. Eminem in the comics does solo Rake and Wick. I'm not gonna lie, that is crazy.
His fucking headbutt. He lands that shit. They're done.
He flashes his ass mid-fight. Wick might literally disintegrate.
Apex main chat lobby. Realm of Manifestation. Did you comment in there? Hold up. Okay, I see you now. All right, buddy. We're gonna give you a roll so that you can get in here. Civilians. Okay. So now you should see main lobby. Join main lobby now. Go to public VC and join it, and I'll drag you to our VC.
Let me just ping me in the server.
Oh, Lumos was just saying good chat.
I'm trying to think. What the fuck? What am I looking for here? Oh yeah. Hold on, Tuck's in the chat. Tuck's with the scaling in the chat. He's in the thing. Ultimate Nep is in the public VC splash.
Yeah, I'm moving him. Give me a sec. Yo. What's up, Nep? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you, bro?
I'm good. So, just before we start the conversation, everyone's gonna be chill. Everyone's cool. As long as no one walls out, everything's good.
Yeah, I'm cool too, bro.
I did see some of your comments, like, kind of like a rough draft of your stance, so to speak. Could you kind of, like, just tell me, like, clarify what you think and, like, why you feel that way, and we'll go from there. We'll see what I agree and disagree on, stuff like that. By the way, thank you for hopping in.
So, like, you know, like, they say, like the God spirits, like, I outer, like 1A, like, outer, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what's your reasoning? Like, I know, like, you said because of, like, platonic concepts, like, I get it, but, like, platonic concept doesn't mean, like, it's 1A, though, like, for example, like,
I will say this, I don't think I've said platonic as, like, a prerequisite to anything for the God sphere in years. I said it, like, probably, like, 3 or 4 years ago in, like, debates, but I don't prescribe to the Platonism crux or whatever.
What's your reasoning then?
There's direct scans of being beyond time, space, all dimensions, concepts. It's beyond all words that could possibly be described with in the English language, which would include time, space, dimension, distance, all of that. There's a bunch of that. There's other abstract statements. Statements from Spectre 92, for example, on the God sphere. And then you get into the dreaming. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know the dreaming scale is pretty high. I know.
But that's in the sphere of the gods.
Yeah, like, but like in the dreaming above the spirit of gods though, like, because I saw Dream of the Endless, like, He transcended the Spirit of God to reach the void during Neil Gaiman Sandman run. During Neil Gaiman Sandman run. Because I could remember like the dreaming skills way higher than the Spirit of God. So you
Yeah,
So
feel
does
that he
like
came to the
Darkseid.
Spirit of God though.
So does
yeah.
Darkseid.
There's a
But
lot of things.
I
Yeah,
don't
there's a
think
lot of things
anyone
like.
would refute Darkseid's from the sphere of the gods. But he also scales above it. So
No, Splash, it's like kind of like what we were talking about yesterday. Like, there's things in the sphere of gods that don't exactly represent the strongest aspects of it. Like, Darkseid right now would probably be the strongest thing in the sphere of the gods.
Now
But
let me
not
get to the
everybody scales to him.
contradictions. Like
Yeah.
he showed like doing like a run. I forgot the run, but like he says the monitor spell was bound by time. I remember the run like when after that movie like yeah destroyed the monitor spell. He said the monitor spell was bound by time. Like you could see a time. You could see a time right there. So like that contradicts the God spirit being higher than time and space because of that contradiction. So I don't get how you could scale it because of the contradiction, because it says that the monitor spirit was influenced by time. So how do you counter that?
In what issue and what comic?
I forgot the issue, but I read the comics once. I'm gonna try to find it later, but I don't got my PC right now, so I can't really search it.
best thing I would say is it's probably a reference to Hyper Time, which is definitely outer.
Alright.
Yeah, there's a lot of times in comics where if you're talking about space time or you're talking about hyper time, you're talking about something that encompasses like pretty much all narratives, stories, things like that. So it's like it could be that the monitor sphere in particular usually has to do with narratives and stories, because that's where you like we see in the perpetual arc when you go to the World Forger, he's the one creating everything. So I kind of can see where that's like a thing, but that wouldn't really debunk it being outer.
I got you. So like how
Yeah.
do you split it to I outer though? Because I could agree that it's I outer, but with outer with some contradiction, but I don't know how you split it to I outer.
The You're talking about the God sphere entirely is high
No, not the
outer.
God spirit, like above the God spirit, because I don't think you could scale the God
Oh, the
spirit to
God.
I outer.
If you're talking about anything above the God sphere, right? You're talking about things like the source wall, which would, if it exploded, like would destroy the God sphere and everything in it.
I mean, but
You're,
that's just mean
you're
like it's a layer above the God spirit, because for high outer, you gotta be like infinite levels
yeah.
above outer, like you gotta be like an infinite outer vessel realms, like you gotta transcend it
Yeah,
completely.
if you can, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you can destroy it, yes. So, like, if you have everything in the God sphere literally being destroyed, or, for example, the Source Wall was the only thing really holding back the Dark Multiverse, per se, right? When the Source Wall cracked open, the Dark Multiverse was going to destroy everything. It was going to destroy the Dreaming. And you yourself said earlier the Dreaming should scale above the God sphere.
Yeah.
And it's like because it scales infinitely because of the Neil Gaiman run, whatever. The Dreaming itself was burning because of the actions of Barbados and the Dark Multiverse. If the Dark Multiverse is what is if the Dark Multiverse is being kept back by the Source Wall, then the Source Wall, until it was corrupted by, if I'm not mistaken, the Source Wall was damaged by the heroes from within the multiverse. So it wasn't like the Dark Multiverse broke the Source Wall itself. So the Source Wall can hold back what things that can actually destroy the Dreaming, which per you said infinitely transcends the God sphere. So that's how you would get like high 1A scaling from that, or high universal scaling from that.
I did say the dream infinitely transcends the God spirit, but that ain't the same as high outer though, because for high outer you gotta have like for like a dimension to transcend one dimension, it gotta be like infinitely above it, like a 5D universe is higher than a 4D universe infinitely. So like can you
Yeah, that's
prove
what
like it is like infinite series, like like more infinite. Like, for example, like the dream could be like higher than the God sphere infinitely, but that could be like only one dimension above, because for one dimension to be above another, it gotta be infinitely greater than it. So can you prove that like the dream is
that's what I'm saying. That's why I just used your wording for an example, because that would be the simplest way. If I was to bring up like another thing, I'd have to like start posting scans and stuff, and I don't really go out of my way to like keep those scans on me.
I would use this. Would you say infinite transcendence is like a human descriptor?
I mean, doing search theory, yeah, it is a human description, yeah, because
okay, so like, would you?
Yeah,
would you say? Oh, I'm not trying to trick you. I'm just like setting the base so you understand my point. Would you agree? Like, it's infinite layers into beyond dimensionality. That's another descriptor. Just we agree on what descriptors are for like human mathematicians, physicists.
That's a description. Yeah.
God's sphere is beyond all that.
I see.
Yeah, and that's stated multiple times. I want to say something in your favor. I used to appeal to Platonism. For a little bit of time, I appealed to that for the God sphere. I think that's a flimsy argument. There's really only one line ever within the Platonic structure, theories, all that even denotes outer versal. So I don't appeal to that. I just appeal to like actual evidence, to be honest.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. So like we got that like done for like the God sphere. So like the dreaming, like we agree like it's infinitely above it, like, but it's like an infinite series above it.
No, it's kind of crazy you bring this up because like GB had said at the beginning, me and GB argued about this yesterday. Because I told him I wanted to do a video on how like the God sphere is the biggest lie in DC Comics because its scaling doesn't match where it is on the map. The dreaming should not be in the sphere of the gods because of its scaling, but it is. You get what I'm saying?
Well,
yeah, like it don't make sense because like it just contradicts everything. Like
but I would say this to help kind of understand it. Hulk, right, comes from Earth. He's a 3D being, but he has like outer versal feats.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, that's the best way to rationalize it for me. I don't think all of the God sphere scales to each other, though, which actually gives real solid credence to infinite layers within that.
Yep. No, I'm not going to sit here and say that like there's no contradictions within DC. You just heard me and Lumos argue about like something that's been printed. Like, we literally have something that's been printed. He had his interpretation of it. I had my interpretation of it. There are a lot of confusing aspects of DC Comics, especially when they literally said everything is canon. Because at that point, you can take things that aren't even under the same publishing titles anymore and consider them canon. So if you're looking at it from the Sandman perspective, even current Sandman is very, very confusing. Current Sandman is still very confusing.
Yeah.
If you look at it from the DC perspective and just tunnel vision DC scaling, it's still confusing. Just not as confusing, but it's still confusing. Especially when you take in like all the power sources, like the lanterns, the Speed Force, the Power of Hope, the Presence. You have the Chaos Force or whatever that is, Chaos Energy.
Like it's so confusing because I remember them saying Pariah could defeat the Presence, like that darkness female. Like I remember them saying that, like, and Hecate dreamt of the Presence, like. But then it's contradicted in the latest one saying...
I disagree. I disagree with people saying Perpetual is above the Presence, by the way.
Like, it don't make no sense.
The thing is that, okay, so for that contextually, currently, we know now that they've provided context, we know that presence is extremely weak, given its battle with the Great Darkness. And if you go back to the story of, I forget what that's called, Soulfire Darkseid. The story with Soulfire Darkseid and Orion. If you go into that story, Soulfire Darkseid is essentially a powered up Darkseid that's able to fight the Source. And it was the Source and the anti-life equation that used to be one entity. And the anti-life equation, you can quote unquote say it's connected to the Great Darkness, whatever. But regardless, the anti-life equation and the Source are supposed to be one entity. When they became one entity again, they kind of started, getting confronted by Darkseid, and the fight broke out. Even that version of the Source was weakened. So we know that the Source being weakened scales below, like if you separate them, obviously the Source didn't have enough to beat Soulfire Darkseid. That's why Orion had to come in and help. Even the Source, coupled with the anti-life equation, couldn't beat Soulfire Darkseid because it was weakened at the time. So I used to be against Perpetual being able to beat the Presence, but if the Presence is that weak, because I personally view the Presence and the Source as the same thing, if the Presence is that weak that it can't beat Soulfire Darkseid, then sure, it could, Perpetual should be able to beat it, but we just don't know, that's the only example of how weak the Presence is after the fight with the Great Darkness.
I got you. But what you skilled, the Monitor Void, though?
I disagree with that because, in Spectre, the Source was not the Presence. And we know this because Spectre had already found the Source, and it wasn't the Presence.
Yeah, but I've had this discussion with people in your server. Even with that one guy that you used to argue with, I literally posted multiple scans from different comic books where Spectre refers to the Presence as the Source.
Yeah, that is true. Also, I forgot. Grant Morrison also stated that the Spectre. So also stated that the Source.
I think the Source is an aspect of the Presence, but I don't think it's the Presence itself.
But it was also stated in the latest comic run that the Source is the energy the Presence used to create the multiverse. So it kind of contradicts everything that Grant Morrison made, by saying the Overvoid and the Presence with the Source were the same being.
Yeah, the Grant Morrison.
But his shit's already been violated, so that doesn't really matter to me, in my opinion, because Morrison's stuff's already been violated.
If you don't to me, if you don't, it's really hard to not say that to me, because of the Perpetua arc, because of the thing with Phantom Stranger talking to Wonder Woman, because of all the scans of Spectre saying that the Source and the Presence are the same thing. If he said they weren't, that's an outlier compared to all the times that he did. I feel like it's really hard not to think that they're the same thing. I feel like it's really hard. Yeah, I just don't. Even Lucifer Morningstar refers to his father as the Source and the Presence.
He did.
So.
Not to mention, they say the
I see. Okay, let me. It's kind of I think at worst, the Source would be the Demiurge.
He said he did say the Demiurge energy is the energy of the Source.
I said at worst, by the way. Yeah. At worst.
Okay, but so let me ask you this, Flash. I think I can commit with this. What if I told you Dustin Poirier didn't think that the Presence and the Source were the same person?
That'd be fucked. If he had my stance, I'd switch my stance.
I don't think they're the same people, though, because he did say, the Presence fought against the Great Darkness, which made the Source happen, in the latest one. If you take the latest interpretation, we know, that the Presence and the Source ain't the same being. But that contradicts, years of work, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because they say everything's canon, it's the only way you can establish an argument is if you go by what's most consistent. So, to me, there's just too much saying that the source and the presence are the same thing. And then you have the writer statements that say that the source, the overvoid, and the presence are all the same thing.
Yeah. Also, I got one bone to pick. Like them using the writer as like the writer as being above like the overvoid. But that doesn't make no sense because we could see that the writer wasn't at the overvoid. He was at limbo in the Animal Man comics. Like we could see that
Animal Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Animal Man's comic sucks.
Yeah. We could see the Animal Man comic to kill was able to kill the writer. So like I always get it confused because like there's like something around the DC community that like thinks like the writer is like the strongest being. When we could see clearly he isn't, because we could see him in limbo, in the company book limbo.
Well, if you want the writers to be debunked as the strongest beings, you could literally just read Mixie comics. Mixie's always smacking up writers, so. And he's fifth dimensional. He's not even the strongest. Like he's not even the strongest character in DC. So, by any means. So, if you really wanted to like get evidence of anybody smacking up writers, you could just use Mixie, and anybody who scales above him would do the same thing.
So we could agree like that DC scales too high harder, but like there's some massive contradictions that you could use to debunk it. Like
I wouldn't say you can debunk it, but I can say that I would definitely be able to say that you can definitely say that it's inconsistent, or you could say that there's contradictions, however you want to word it. But that applies to that applies to literally anything. Like it's not just DC. That applies to Marvel. That applies to mangas. That applies to anime. That's how like everything is.
Yeah, but like between DC and Marvel, I would say Marvel is more consistent. Like because you can scale Marvel to boundless, like pretty easily, especially if you use the Man-Thing comics. Like plus the new run in the Beyonders when they show like the Crown 10, the Enigma, which is like is above infinite levels of the one above her.
I would say because Marvel constantly resets, like they constantly reboot the universe. I would say their continuities usually are more consistent because they're more recently established, whereas DC is lazier, and DC is kind of like just, hey, everything's canon, do what y'all want. Whereas Marvel, they're probably going through a reboot right now with the Ultimate Universe thing happening. They went through a reboot during Secret Wars. There was another event recently that was like a reboot. I forgot what it was. Was it Defenders Beyond?
No, I don't think so though. Like,
I don't think Defenders Beyond definitely highlighted reboots, but it wasn't. I don't think that
they tried to reboot, but like they decided not to in the end. Yeah.
But regardless, like if let's say Secret Wars 2 from Hickman was the most recent reboot, that was like what, 8 years ago. So you could literally not have to read too much to catch up on all of Marvel continuity. Whereas DC, because everything's canon, you literally got to go back to 1939 and start reading comics all the way up until now, which literally, I don't know how many people in the comment section right now are watching, are researchers like I am. I don't want to read 25,000 Superman issues, let alone 15,000 Flash issues, 30,000 Batman issues. Like, that's crazy. Those are just 3 characters. I don't want to do that. That's like One Piece on mega steroids. Like, no. Meanwhile, with Marvel, you just got to read a few hundred comics since 2016 and you're good.
Also, like we've been arguing, like, for Marvel and DC, like, because I read Marvel higher, so, like, I always see this in around, like, the community. You always with DC, like, for example, they said, like, Lucifer is greater than like, the one above in Marvel, but, like, I kind of disagree with that, though. Because, for example, like in Marvel, like, when you get, like, to the White Phoenix, the White Room, like, you could scale Marvel to high order plus, like, infinite levels into high order. like when you get above it, like you could scale Marvel to like boundless, infinite levels into boundless. If you try, but like it might be contentious, but if you try, you can. But in DC, like they haven't shown such level, like because I believe that like DC like caps at high order with contradictions, like why harder with no contradictions. So like you disagree with that?
So in DC, I would say that the Overvoid, like if you're Overvoid tier or higher, you would be boundless, because there's infinite multiverses in the DC, in like the DC's like, you know, Overvoid flotation thingamajiggy, whatever you want to call that, the pool, the ocean, whatever. Because there's infinite multiverses, these are like you could equate that to infinite transcendences for the Overvoid.
I mean,
it would just transcend infinitely. However, I do say this. However, you would have to assume that every single multiverse has the same structure as the mainline DC multiverse.
Yeah,
that's a pretty big assumption.
Yeah, that's a pretty big if, and also like I can't disagree with you. Excuse me for saying like because it transcends an infinite multiverse, that makes it boundless. Because, for example, like if like a 5D being transcends an infinite 4D multiverse, that don't make the 5D being like infinite.
No. What I mean by multiverses, I'm talking about like the multiversal map that was released, the creations. That's why I'm saying, like, if they're structured the same way that multiverse map was, like, the multiverse was structured, where you have the God sphere and all that stuff, those are like the creations. We know that at least 3 exist. We know that at least 3 are structured the exact same way.
I mean, yeah,
because of death metal.
That Ghost Rider looking fire guy that came from the source. Yeah, we could confirm that. Yeah.
So like that's what I'm saying. Like I believe that like you can definitely say wholeheartedly that at least 3 of those floating multiverses are structured with God spheres and all that stuff, just like the mainline multiverses. But you know, at that point, you're kind of just jumping off of a deep end. But I would say that the Overvoid, like if you do want to go that way, you could definitely argue the Overvoid is easily balanced just off of that. And anything higher than Overvoid, if you can get anything higher than Overvoid, you would be able to do the same thing. Like, for example, like Superman's narrative, like I was arguing with Lumos, there's literally a scan that views the narrative of Superman as a virus to the Overvoid, and if it's left unchecked, it just spreads. So that's a direct statement saying that eventually Superman's narrative would have overcome the Overvoid. So like to say that like they had to check it, so that would mean like that narrative has, you know, the capability to be boundless type shit. So you could argue things like that. Is Marvel linear with it? Yes, because you can say the White Hot Room is either 1A or high 1A, and depending on where you put it, we know that the House of Ideas infinitely transcends it infinite times, whatever. So you could just say that, like, yeah, sure, House of Ideas boundless at that point, and anything above that is boundless.
Like these other realms, like the Neverwhere realm, like where it shows like the Never Queen having like an infinite transcendence over the White Hot Room. Like you could argue, you could argue for Marvel pretty easily. There might be some contention, some contradiction, but you could argue for Marvel pretty easily. Yeah.
I mean, it's like I said, like it's contentious for sure, like you said, but it's an easy argument to have. Whereas like DC, you're gonna have to dig deep into the files because you just got to go through a lot more. Whereas like right now, you're talking about Defenders Beyond, which was released, I think it finished last year, so it's not something that you have to like go 40 years be in the past for.
I'll see. Thanks. I really wanted to have the discussion because like in Versus Battle Weekly, I saw that the rated DC has like 6D.
Yeah, no,
like,
I get that because I know Versus Battle just released their shit, said it's like caps at like complex multi or something. So.
Yeah, like that don't make no sense.
Between BSB and Death Battle, you're gonna get a headache. Like, trust me, between Death Battle and BSB, you're gonna get a headache.
Like, as I saw, because like that really contradicts, because just in Animal Man, it already shows that there's like an infinite levels of existence through bomb theory, but like they don't want to accept that. Like I've been trying for like years, so I just gave up, to be honest.
No, I mean, I understand your points. I understand your grievances and like your annoyances with the continuity of DC. I'm not going to sit here and argue that it's consistent. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to sit here and argue that you can't make claims to downplay it. But I do think that it's easy to argue it high outer. I think that's very easy. I think that's very easy for almost any fiction out there currently today, barring like certain mangas and anime. And yeah, like I told Splash after I had looked at the White Hot Room, I did tell Splash, I was like, if you, based on what Splash was explaining to me, I was like, if this is what it is, then yeah, you could have the House of Ideas at Boundless. Like, that's not a hard thing to do. So, yeah.
All right, thanks, man. Thanks for having me. I'm gonna leave right now. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, have a
No
good one,
problem. And we're actually gonna wrap up the stream. We've been going for fucking almost 3 hours. I appreciate all the viewers that popped out, everyone that donated, hit the Cash App, whatnot. I appreciate y'all. And we'll see y'all later. Expect content today on both channels. Peace. In stream right